Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
Back, jumping and shooting. Ghetto's getting the job done. Only one more player left alive. FTP can be going out very early here. Ghetto comes in, cut by cutter. And now Molokko's going to come round, running and spraying, running and gunning, getting the job done. And that's a very easy frag for them to find.
So that means camping and a healing is over.
And And now it could be happening once again. The Rosq squad.
Team is slow, buddy, and they're not getting an easy time to play, but he needed the help from Ultra, and it's not the teammate that was live at the point. He was hits in there.
Ultra still getting it down. Moloko starting off. He's spraying down 2 knocks on the
But Rosq, they're in where they are.
Hoka, what are you doing?
And they did a good job.
Old boy's going to be found though. He's instantly flushed out. He was causing a bit of a problem for Epic. We now only have Spear left alive, and once he's taken down 1, Kitsune from afar, he saves the day at least for his team.
And surely he won't get out of this. He's in the blue. He's trying to make a move in. He's still surrounded. He finally goes down.
Comes around the corner. He has 1 player shooting at him. He is just going to die out straight away. That's going to be them out as well. This could be a huge nade. Nade goes down. Players get knocked from out. This could be Storm saving the day as the rest players. Gabella gets into it, shooting away, spraying them down, trying to get himself a knocked player. Couldn't make it happen, but his teammates, they've got his back, and Storm. What's on the safe part here, but what's not safe is Boyz. A strong, a hot shot roll. Oh, he's moving again. What happened? Oh, Boyz. A lot of 4-man teams still within it. As FDP are going to look.
But if they get overzealous, rest might join the fight.
Going to use the molly as well. Brilliant stuff. Flames might not reach though. You can get a grenade in there as well with your teammates to push up.
Today, like you do in 100% of the games.
Every single time with Old Boy. 10 kills! Dark Angel stuck behind the tree. His teammates are falling around him. Unique are providing the pain. They are doing all the damage. Ultra are out of it. And Unique take a... Here, Nade's going off, and that's a nice one from Champion. Will it land? Will it connect? Shot's coming off. He tries to go up against Andy, but Andy's just holding strong. He's an absolute unit for this. That car goes through, and so do some of the players. Starts to come in. Starts to go there.
Got eliminated. That's not a water, James. And now, Boyz's position has been known, and they're just getting torn apart. Another team not looking too good.
Their teamwork, use their style, Vikendi. Oh my god, what an absolute beast. He eliminates Ultra. Oh my god, he comes onto it. He's looking to spray out the last one. Class, solo playing it up. He gets Vikendi down, and now he can win because FDP is stuck.
Look at that, FDP's already taken that. He only has 1 person in his name.
White
Doesn't matter.
4 more games will solidify who will make it to the Europe Regional Finals. And this is what all these teams have been working for. It started at 32 teams. We then dropped down to 24. And finally, we'll be getting our last 16 here today. You've got myself, James Banks, and joined by always the fabulous, the knowledgeable, the analyst of over 9,000, Matthias Larsson. And we are ready to see what's going to go down in Group B and C. And the reason I'm so hyped about this more so than ever is nothing against Group A, but Group B and C certainly were that little bit more stacked, a little bit more competitive when it came to it in terms of just the level of teams within those groups.
Oh, yeah. And today, we're actually only getting rid of 5 teams because we already know 3 teams that played the 16 games and they won't make it through. And I believe it's BKB, it's White Pulse, and it's CZCZCZ.
Yes, those 3 teams come from Group A, and they have not made enough points. They're not even within the top 18. So no matter what happens now, they are sadly out of it. But they came, they saw it wasn't good enough. They can come back next time around and try their luck once again. I guess the benefit for White Pulse is that they got that crazy win at the very last game at the end, but it was all just that little bit. And the thing is, them winning that game could have potentially cost some of these other teams, like B13, potential positions that they would have wanted to have within it. Now today we've got Groups B and C like we mentioned earlier. We've got Vikendi, we've got Larsson's favourite Miramar coming in, and then 2 Erangel games at the end. And honestly, after what we saw yesterday, and now I know that the calibre of teams in this group, I am so excited to see this go down, because this is going to be down to, if the same big teams who are already qualified do as well as they have been doing, then some of these other teams, they're just going to be desperately fighting out just for a few kill points.
It's always going to be fun to see how the the teams in Group C are going to react to playing against DMStorm, right?
Yeah.
Because DMStorm, we see them when they're playing, they just take all the spotlight. They're killing everyone. So yesterday we saw, I believe, Ultra from Group C and probably Storm to be the biggest players.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Ultra's pretty impressive as well.
So we'll have to, I said Ultra and Storm.
Ah, there you go.
But we'll have to see how they perform while DM is on the server.
See, I'm just so focused on DM because they're back in it today. And this is the thing, because DM looked good when we speak about them playing against the other groups. And it was like,
okay, it's acceptable going up against Group A. Like Avangar was a heavy hit from that group as an example. M19 in there as well. But when it comes down to what we can see this team now do against the likes of Ultra, that's what I want to see. I want to get one of these amazing endings. I know it's probably unlikely it's going to happen. It may not happen at all. But I'd love to see like a full 4-man squad of DM have a chance to get someone from Ultra or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that would
to
be
just
amazing.
see like how these two do it, because they think in a similar style. They have very solid rotations, but also it's when they get into these pressure spots, their communication just seems ridiculously good. So I'm thinking, if we can get a bit of that at the end of one of these games, that's just going to solidify my understanding of, yes, okay, you are truly the #1 team. And DM will be looking to prove that today, because they have been the most dominant thus far.
Yep. And once again, if you guys don't really know what's going on here, we are covering the PUBG Mobile Club Open Split Regional Finals here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the semifinals. So as you mentioned, we had 32 teams for the first 2 weeks. Now we're down to 24. After today, we're going to go to 16.
Yep.
And then in the next month, to be announced the date, there will be a regional finals where the 16 best teams of Europe clash against each other. And only 2 of those can come out ahead to then go to the global finals in Berlin in July.
Now these teams on your screen, 9 to 16, they are just within it. And any teams that have got 16 games played means they've played all of their games. So feel the pain right now. Truly could feel the pain if some of these teams manage to have some very good days ahead of them to push them back down. All it would take is for a few teams to have a bit like a win or something else come in there, and they could easily be pushed all the way down and potentially out of the top 16. So they're not even guaranteed just yet. But when we move over to the next side of the standings, then we'll see the teams that are pretty much all qualified. It would have to be some wild world for any of them to be knocked down.
Yeah, I think rest like top 10 now and above are already through. And I'm like 80% sure that FeelThePain, they won't make it on just 178 points.
Oof.
Because there's 12 now. There's like pretty much 9 other teams that just needs to get 50 points in 4 games. That's not that much to ask from. Like, that's 2 decent games and you get 50 points and then they're overtaken.
And now we've got DM99. 4 more games to play, already up at 304 points. They are definitely going to be looking at that #1 spot once again. If they can still have a good day, remember, it's not always possible for every single team. Ultra, who we mentioned earlier, M19 as well, and Rosq. Now, Rosq, again, is one of those teams. They're in the top 8 at the moment. This is impressive. They're pretty much guaranteed now for regionals, we've got to say. But when it was at the group stages, I don't think they were one of the teams I would have picked out straight away and said, yeah, these guys will make it all the way. They had a few things which were pretty shaky, but what impresses me about that is they've clearly worked harder going into these semifinals.
Yeah, and it's good to see. I feel like yesterday, though, they were a little bit shaky. The first week here we had, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Yesterday was like, either they were out super early or they were like kind of struggling to get towards the end game. And like, this is what I think is crazy about 99, right? That's the... They're 4 games behind, but they're only 4 points away from Team Unique, which is in 2nd place, and they're 12 points ahead, or well, 12 points behind #1. And I believe that was Unique, right?
Yeah, and the amount of kill points they had as well on top of that, 108 there. And that is very, very impressive. Now, we talk about this point system over and over again, guys. This is for you guys at home to understand fully how important placement points are. Now, kill points are 1 per kill, but if you're finishing pretty much within the, let's say, top 7 there, top 8, you're really laughing in terms of the points you can jump up on, because if you jump that with like 4 or 5 thrags as well, then you're really running away with it.
Yeah.
Now, it's our first game of the day. It's Vikendi. We're going to get a very Western plane here. But with it being such a small map, it's not the end of the world for a lot of teams when it comes down to this. We'll struggle getting all the way over to the east on some spots, but most things will work out as they should here.
That is literally like to mention. You can pretty much parachute to anywhere, no matter what the plane is. And if you don't make it, you probably just have to run for a minute or so. This is a zone I have never seen before. All the way up north. Have you ever been to the Cosmodrome, James?
No.
I want the ending there. That area is so sick.
Oh, man. I told you, I dropped Dino Park, man. That's my spot.
Cosmodrome is like a big space station, and it's so many different levels, big hangars, and it's actually a ridiculous place to fight in.
There is 50% water within the first circle. We talk about Vikendi being fast at times anyway when it gets to those later circles, right? And because we have a real slow start for Vikendi at the beginning, really, and then it just drastically speeds up. This time around, we could see some absolute madness.
James 11.
We love it. The players, maybe not so
I
much.
feel like I'm gonna upset all the players by saying, "Oh, these circles are great. I love them. They're great. Yay!"
We got the insanity that was the semi-military base circle at the end of Erangel yesterday that turned into
disgusting.
not going to Erangel and then not going to military base and then going back and forth. That was just so hard for teams to even try and understand what was going on. It was the rotate back, rotate forth, rotate back, and then got stuck, and then try swim.
Yep. Military base circle that just kept going. Oh, it went hard shifted to the military base and hard shifted to the north. It went back to the military zone, and then for the fourth time it went up north. And like, how do you react to that? How do you adjust?
Well, Ultra, this is a team that will want to achieve big success again in this lobby. It's time for them to show what they really are made of. They've had good games, but now they're up against some of the best teams within our entirety of the Europe Club Open here.
Yeah, and I feel like they're a team that kind of thrives from good rotations and playing safe. They're not the kind of team that gets huge kills every game. I don't think we see them with like 20 kills.
Yeah.
But they're just really, really smart and moving around, and that's kind of what gives them their edge. And that's a good thing to do in PUBG, because especially with the point system that we have, if you can just make your way into the top 5 every game with a few kills, you're good.
Now, when we're looking at Epic down there, just below Novatra, they are currently in 15th place with 135 points, but with 4 games ahead of them, you'd most likely be thinking, yeah, you should be able to quite comfortably get inside of it. It all depends what some of the teams below them can do. But Epic did have some games where you would say they're always getting within like the top 10 to 12, right? And they'll try and kill. So it's not exactly the perfect situation for them, but they have these games where every now and again they break through to say top 6 and you say, ah, here we go, there's a bit more life in it. But quite often you find them fighting and it becomes a little bit more scrappy than what some of the other teams deliver.
Definitely, and I actually expected a lot from Epic coming out of the group stages, because I believe they finished in top 5, if not very close to it, and actually had a lot of explosive games where they would come ahead with these like big 10+ kills multiple times. They actually finished in 3rd place, James is telling me. So they were really, really good in group stages, but they just haven't shown any of those signs alive.
And that's what it's all about, right? You have to be able to do it even when the lobby gets tougher. It cannot just be that you farmed out some of the easier teams here. Now, you've got Romania on your screens
all
at
the way at the bottom.
Currently in last place with 71 points. And I'll be honest, what would you need for this? They're going to need at least 60 points without any of the other teams at this point getting any points on top of it, which is very unlikely to happen as well. So you're going to say, what, about 70, 80 points just to try and hit in that top 16? It's going to be a tough day.
They basically need to win 3 out of 4 games and probably have a good 4th game as well to like say, all right, we can make it now, and we made it ourselves.
But you've got to try all the way, right? You can't give up no matter what, because you need to show yourselves off. And also, this is good practice. Very good practice for them to ensure that they keep things going, keep that momentum, not just for this, but for the future splits and tournaments within the Club Open.
Definitely. And like you said, the practice is so important, because I don't know personally how many tournaments there is, but at this level, having a bit broadcast for it, having potential orgs look at it, looking to find out people, I don't think that's something that occurs that often, because I feel like the scene, at least in the West, is kind of new. So you need to take advantage of every opportunity you're given, right? If you want to try to solidify yourself within this competitive scene. And a lot of people, they come and ask, hey Larsen, how did you become a pro player? And it's actually more simple than you think. You have Twitter, you have to have Discord, you have to follow all the right channels. And in this case, you definitely want to look out for the website PUBG Mobile Club Open, because they announce everything there. But basically, you just need to have 4 friends that you know in real life or over the internet that you think you would like playing with. Yeah. Then you just practice and you sign up for everything.
That's very important as well.
Like, you literally just sign up, like, this tournament, nobody has been invited. It's open qualifications.
Yep.
Anyone just have to sign up for it and play, and if you're good, hey, maybe one day you can find yourself at the scene winning hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And that's one thing, right, for a lot of people here who might be watching this and thinking, well, how do they get in a team and stuff? If you've got friends that play, you can always start with that, and then maybe you outgrow each other a little bit, maybe things change, you move on.
Yep.
But it's great to play with friends because you've got that extra communication from a friendship to start things off with, right? And you say there, oh, this is enjoyable. Then it gets a little bit more serious, and like you were saying, enter these cups and stuff. There is so many opportunities within esports and within PUBG Mobile right now on this massive growth we're going to see. It is the way to go, and we've got, look at how many millions and millions of people play this game.
Oh, yeah.
You'll definitely find someone to play with.
Yeah, and if you can't find people to grow with, then you need to work on your own personality. Being a pro player means you need to be able to always take criticism while not getting offended, and always being calm and having clear voice communications. And that is not something that you learn from playing with your friends. Usually, when I remember when I went to high school and played with my friends, the comms would be very, very hectic, very, very bad, and something that you can definitely work on if you want to improve.
And this is where it is really funny, right? Because you talk about communication. Communication is the key to success. But I've been in it before. You play a game with friends for a while, and you say, "Oh, wait a second, lads. We're not actually focused. Let's go back onto the game. We don't want to talk about our TV show we've just watched or something like that." And then you have to kind of rein yourselves back in. But there's the level you take to step into being a pro player is very different from the public side of things. And if it's truly what you want to do, it's not easy. It takes a lot of time and dedication. But it's true that anyone has the opportunity to enter themselves in and get involved here.
And as far as I know, like most competition, it's open qualifiers. So if you follow whoever is hosting the tournament, you just sign up and everybody gets a chance to play. So there's no excuse. If you want to become a pro, it's on yourself. It's not something about lucky, you just fall into it, or you're like, oh, my dad works in esports, so now I'm in esports. No, it's just hard work and commitment from you, and it's up to you to find the right channels and get into it. Somebody's getting into this Carrick here as he's pushing onto BML here.
And Bemyloot, they are a team that needs to have some good positions today. They're currently sat in 21st. They've got 115 points, and TQ going in on them early on. Less than ideal, but lots of shots coming back out towards them. BML are holding strong, and they've managed to take down one player already. Billy may be on the floor, but he should be able to back away, and they should be revived. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. It depends how TQ want to really try and play this and push into it, but they seem to have already decided that maybe this wasn't the best idea to engage this early on. And, well, that's kind of what we've been saying a lot of the time here, mate.
The keyword was early on, because, all right, you fight for a compound in Circle 1, but look at that, just across the road to have another compound they could play from here. And it seems like TQ realized that it's not worth losing more team members for a compound that might not be good in just a few circles ahead.
And this I can at least respect. Yes, you lost a player, but TQ backed away, and it means they can continue to push forward because TQ is in 16th place at the moment, right on the edge of it all. So they really don't want to have games where it just starts dropping off. And a lot of these teams in the back of their mind, their mentality has probably massively changed today because they will be sitting there thinking, this is do or die now. And it's not just... And this is why I think some teams have the wrong mentality, because people say, oh, the first games we had in week 1, doesn't matter if they weren't too bad, we can catch up. No, like you literally need to be on point every single game, because when you get to this, it could be just 2 or 3 points that separate you qualifying or not qualifying.
And that's like we've seen a lot of these teams that have been disqualified already, not disqualified, but they just didn't make it. They failed to qualify. It's probably a better way of placing it.
Yeah, they
were the ones that were fighting early, right? They didn't like say, okay, we lost a member, we're gonna give up. They're like, oh, I lost 2 members, but let's just send the last 2 in and die 2 before. And we see this over and over again. But
Rosq now that have come to Bemyloot. Bemyloot, they've fended off TQ. Rosq heard what's going on and clearly want to get involved. A lot of Molotovs put on the floor, but some of the Rosq players, including Andy and Kuma, got up a little bit closer. Trying to throw out some Molotovs of their own, but Andy now needs to be careful. He doesn't want to be hit by the flames. He's going to hold his position, at least for now. And this is going to be a good hold if BML can do it, because that's not just one team you've done now, a second team as well. My question is, does TQ hear and see this and decide they want to now get back in and be involved?
that is a good question. I mean, if you see a lot of knocks coming back and forth, then yeah, you can definitely say this is worth pushing in on. But as long as it's just a stalemate, I don't think you can push in, but if they time it right, they could come out and take all of this loot and all of these kills.
That'd be a scary thing to happen if it did. But at least if you're on BML's end, they're playing it right at the moment. They've got one house they've secured now for themselves. They've all grouped back up together. This is 4 players in one area, and they've got a good vantage point. It's a really nice window to shoot from. Yes, they've let Rosq move in, but at least now if the battle does happen, no player's singled out and left on his own. So I'm really starting to enjoy seeing some of these teams actually, I wouldn't say just listen to our feedback, but when like you're given the advice, the smart teams will be saying, oh, wait a sec, what Larson just said there, and they're not taking the feedback personally, right? Because all we're saying is how it should be played or how it could be played better. As Harp, he'll get a nade out, and it will knock down Santos, but his teammates all around him, the revive shouldn't be too bad, but plenty more utility is going to be used here by the Rosq team in order to try and get the damage done.
I'm really surprised that Rosq here is committing to the compound, but I mean, so far so good. They already got 2 initial knocks with the utility being thrown at them. And Rosq now, they know they're all inside this house, they just keep throwing in the nades. And they should go in before the revives. But Enzo, he runs into a Molotov and knocks himself, basically.
Oh no, that's not what you want to do. That's never the way for it to go down. Luckily, Rosq have come in and they've gone on a bit of a clean-up duty. 2 more players for them to find, and Rosq, they are wanting to make sure that they can deliver this and get a full squad wipe onto BML. Time is ticking. Boyz is trying to hold on to the stairs. He can't get the position right. His teammate's not there to help him out. Billy's holding another angle. He's going to wait for him to run into it. But this has just become 1v1 fights, and that was so easy for Rosq to do because BML didn't fight as a team despite all being in the same house.
And, I mean, kudos to Rosq, right? They used the utility. They just, all right, we got knocked with a nade, then we'll just zone them up with a Molotov. And basically just killing 3 guys with utility alone. And since we didn't see BML commit any, they'll probably be able to replenish now. They're back on track. Anybody comes near their compound, they're dead. Voice is like, okay, guys, let's go here. DM is here. Help.
It's the same old tale when you know about what DM can do. They put fear in a lot of teams' heads when they start shooting and start getting involved in some of these fights. Epic Spears find himself crawling away, hoping he can try and find some safety. But as we spoke about earlier, that's certainly a team that does not want to be going down early on.
Yep.
Welcome to the lobby fighting as well, up against OMGG. Just Nox coming in mainly at the moment. We'll get the finish off on the poser though, and that's just where you look. He's too far away from his teammates. They're all the way over to the right-hand side. OMGG's got God over here, happily just tapping away, spraying out onto things, but there was no chance that they were going to be able to contest him taking down their teammate.
This is a story we've seen so many times from Welcome to the Lobby, right? They keep getting caught in these rotations. This is something they need to improve on. If they make it to the finals here, they need to say, all right, how can we rotate safer? Because we do know when they have 4 people alive, when they get into later stages of the game, they can play really, really well.
Yeah.
But I feel like in maybe 30 to 50% of the games, they have at least 1 to 2 people down rotation. And then this is when they start being quiet, they don't have the confidence that they need. So welcome to the lobby. They definitely need to look back and think, how can we make this a safer way to get from point A to point B?
Now M19, you see them on your screens. They are qualified, they're very confident, but they haven't been going in for the kills as much. The last couple of games you saw on Erangel for them when they previously played, again, started to actually get aggressive, take more shots. Opening up here, they're already doing the same. So I'm liking it now that maybe the pressure's off them. They're starting to test this out a bit more.
Yeah.
But I still would have preferred to see it earlier to see how they could have really done. But I understand it. You want to go for this like slower start. It's their passive way. They were snaking up on many games. They had players that would constantly meet the top 4 and just have 1 player, 2 players alive. It worked for them, but I love the fact they're testing something else out here.
Yep, and you can just see how many teams are super close to each other.
Wow.
But we're in circle 2, but it's like 50% or more of the circle is water right now. So this is like looking like a circle 4, circle 5 almost. But there's so much water, and these teams are just sitting right next to each other. Luckily for them, though, there's a lot of compounds to still work with. So most of these guys can be safe and sound.
Every team that's just on the edge of these rotations is going to go, God damn it, this is not what I wanted.
No, when you see that kind of circle, you're never happy. It's just it basically negates how many rotations you can make, right? Because you have way less land to work with. And it often just means that you're going to be funneled into other teams.
Now we've got Ultra out in the open.
Yep.
Excuse me, as M19.
Same spot as they were a minute ago.
Yep, they're just going to be chilling. They'll wait it out.
Romania is still here too. Good to see.
Ooh, that's not bad actually, all things considered. They'll be able to hang on to this side of it.
But we have to keep in mind, they are on the very edge here.
Yeah.
And they will have to move. And they're not trying to do anything fancy right now to move ahead. Whereas we see a lot of these teams, everybody wants to go to the compound where BML was. Like, we can see here, they're right next to, I believe it is Rosq.
And TQ, yeah.
And TQ, yeah.
This circle is just nuts already.
Up.
It's going to make it so hard for many people as Moloko has ended up coming in and finding one of the knocks onto the Epic players. And this is the thing you'll say about some of our better teams, is they don't just care about getting the finishes off of its long distance. They'll shoot from afar and literally tell teams, stay away. This is our spot. You don't want to come here. And we are looking out. And this is what I like. I don't like so much the teams like we see from Romania there, where they're just sat around kind of waiting. I like the active teams like Ultra here, where they're consistently looking around and saying, all right, what's going on to the left and right of us? Is there another team that could approach from this direction? If they do spot someone, take a few shots, see what you can get done.
Team just being inactive is Kuma, as they're split 1 by 1 by 1 by the water there. Just, you know, I would call that chilling. They're having a good time. They're probably listening to maybe just a little bit of music or just talking banter between each other, as friends often do.
Kuma became our highlighted team in the group stages for their interesting, unique splits. Then they certainly did improve. Things changed up a little bit for them. They're currently sat in 22nd place, and it's not looking amazing for them, but again, they're a team that occasionally can sneak into doing the snake plays into the top 8. So if they can just get a couple of those games today, there is an opportunity for them at least to just about sit within the top 16.
One thing I've been massively disappointed about with Kuma is the way they approach the fights. It's almost as if they only rely on playing passive and being pacifistic. They really are afraid to take the fights, so as soon as the team comes near them, they kind of just tend to get washed out, run over, however you want to put it. And I'm really sad to see it, because they do have like a pretty good approach to the game, but when it comes down to these fights, they're missing out so much.
Now Epic, they've found players being picked off from quite afar. They've only got 2 left alive. And they are just going to have to go very passive here, because trying to take some of these engagements with a lot of teams with 4 players or 3 players alive is not going to be ideal for them.
Definitely not. M19 though, they're also just chilling. At least a few of them, they're like, all right, the zone is coming in. And that's something I used to do a lot, is when the zone is coming in, you have to have the map open so you're ready for your rotations. And look at that. Well, at least a lot of teams are already in, I guess you could say. But I'm actually really sad. We didn't get our Cosmo ending.
Yep.
That area is very interesting. And I've never had an ending there. So it would be actually just very chaotic.
I wonder how many teams have an ending there, because that's another thing, right? You can only practice for the scenario given to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even if you know that terrain in the map, like, it's not going to be as similar to playing it in a public game or practice games in comparison to actually having to fight it out on one of the last circles that come into play here. Now, Kuma, they're going to have the furthest to go. They're all the way over at Port on the west-hand side. But a lot of that side they're coming into isn't really contested ground yet. We saw the whole stack of teams more down to the south. As Ultra doing what they do best. Headshot delivered to Graham. Look how split Epic are.
But they're just onto 2 as well, that's why. They're not going for the engagements here. They're just trying to see how long they can stay alive with the 2-man squad that they have. But yeah, that's really impressive by Ultra, right? They've just been sitting in their compound, but they do keep on finding all of these knocks saying, hey, B13, you thinking about crashing our compound? Well, guess what? I'm going to take your face off.
Now, I like this kind of leapfrogging style from Kuma. Slumpy being the man to lead the charge, scouting ahead for him. They're still being very cautious because they know there's not much ground to work with left on this Vikendi.
We do see an airdrop, and this looks like it's going to be gifted straight on top of the Epic player. So if he needs some extra cover by the water, maybe this airdrop will help him out. But it could also work on a bad effect if Rosq is like, hey, we want this airdrop, and then they're going to run right into Wensi, who's very close to it. So might help, might hurt him. We'll see.
He will take that for sure. It'd be very good for him. Or he baits maybe another team to come and get it. Depends if you could have seen it from that far. But either way, if maybe just one player goes and gets it, you can win out that and do it and then try and back away.
Yeah.
But if a whole squad comes towards him, he'll probably just sit there and say, yeah, that's yours. That's fine. I'll just stay here. Don't look at me.
All right. We're about to hit the 20-minute mark. So if you feel like the first 20 minutes have been a little bit quiet, the next 10 is going to be so chaotic that we'll probably miss 50% of what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Because very soon, not this zone, but the next one, it's going to be very painful for these teams to try and make it in. This one is going to go away from the water. There's still going to be water in because there's so much water in the zone. But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams or so is not in the zone anymore. And they have to make their way in. And there's still 20% water in, so there's barely any space to play in.
Rest might just die out to the zone here as well if they're not careful. Just we're at phase 5. The damage is higher. Admittedly, on Vikendi, it's easier to get in. It's a smaller map, right? So you don't have as far to go. The shots already start to be fired. M19. You find one player getting knocked down. Rosq squad starting to move around a bit now, understanding that they're going to have to change it up.
Yep, they're not in anymore, I believe. M19, they were just making the rotation, like, all right, we'll take the initiative, go really fast. And we see a lot of these teams, right? They're not making the rotate straight away. They're still thinking about it. But the blue zones is already starting to move in 7 seconds.
TQ, though, they've kind of found the Romanians before they got pushed away, but that was from Rosq squad. And now actually Rosq and the Romanians going to join up together, giving them a bit of a problem here.
Oh, no.
Hopper out the car. Judah goes down as well. 13 teams left, and this is where it begins. The madness unfolds, and the madness will continue for quite a little while longer here, as there is very limited room, and these rotations are going to be more than difficult for these teams. Magic trying to play it as smart as they can, getting in the car, pushing onto the cliff's edge, and then just running out into it to say, give me some space, give me some cover.
Yeah, Romania, oh no, not Romania, Rosq here, they wasted so much time. They were really close to the new zone, but they already let 2 or 3 teams get ahead of them in the zone. And because they spent so long to make a decision, this might end up hurting them. Ace, connecting onto Magic. Remember, that 2-member split, there were 2 swimming and 2 underneath the bridge.
Fair.
But Ace here is down to just biggies only. Will he manage to get a few rests and heal up, or can Sayid and the last Magic member come in and help them?
Oh no, Sade's going in for the revives, and this could be the wrong play. If he come round now, he might have been able to do the damage onto biggies. It's a waiting game as it be, and they only had 1 left. Even when he does get a revive player up there, it's going to take him a little bit longer to keep going.
Yeah, and we can also see here, the blue zone is coming in, and it's coming in fast. So these players might not even have the time to heal, and they'll have to run into the next zone straight away.
Ray's just swimming. You could have been in that fight, Ray. It probably would have been helpful for your boys. Not going to lie, as Fear finds himself taken out by God, and OMGG obviously using a bit of high ground advantage there while the rest of them are fighting down below. Oh my God. That houses literally 3 teams at max really in that space, and we've got to fit 12?
Yep. That is
and
ridiculous.
It's gone hard shift towards the west.
Yeah.
Everyone's down in the east and south fighting it out. This is going to be so crazy. 12 teams remain, but only 35 alive. 34 make that now. It's going to be continuing to just tick down and down and down.
Dead,
as we're going to see
dead,
lots
dead.
die out.
Another one dead.
Oh my, this is insane.
The last member from Magic here connects onto Rosq. Not sure if that's a move you want to make. As Tron here, he's ready for it. Ray's actually looking the other way.
Ooh.
But Tron is not taking the shots here. Alright, he's just trying to stay hidden. Don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss. Alright, he got it. We're down to 11 teams now. 32 people alive. Kuma is actually getting knock and a finish onto M19 Hate Hope. Rosq connecting onto Tron, the solo player that just took out Magic. We're down to 10. And a lot of these teams are actually pretty sustainable, pretty healthy. We have 10 teams, 30 players alive. Not for long though.
DM. See him up there again, OBS as well. OMGG heavily under pressure now. JC having a look at what they're doing. He spots out the car. They're trying to use it as a bit of cover. God's just ducking and diving. One of his teammates is knocked. You've got Yura to the side of JC. So Ultra have this covered, but they're going to need Makar to get involved as well. They will finish off some of these players with it. They're getting tagged up from the side, though, so they have to be careful. It's Kuma and DM that are teams that within the circle, but also can see this action going on, so they will be happily trying to make sure they can get some extra damage done here to make it even harder for these teams to win out the duels.
Oh yeah, and OBS and Kuma right now, they need all the points they can get. OBS is almost into the top 16s, and Kuma, they're down in 22nd. These 2 teams, if they can get a good spot in this game, that might just give them the momentum they need.
So many players going down.
Maka! Spraying onto OBS here. OMG managed to make it into the zone here, but they're getting third party now by B13. I want to see if OBS is going to be alright. We need to third party this, you know, move in, try and get something out of this. Or they're going to allow OMGG to stay there for now.
I want Makar to go and get that supply drop.
Yeah, I want that too. Down. That makes pretty good sense again.
Yeah, if he gets a smoke down now, right, OMGG has already kind of been wiped out here almost. You've got Rosq coming up close. If Makar acts anytime soon, then he should be able to give himself a nice advantage to push forward on.
Still, no teams have been eliminated, but I can guarantee you a lot of teams are still trying to make into the zone. As we see, DM fighting Rest. B13 is fighting with, I don't know, multiple different teams. M19 and Ultra is clashing. DM and Rest are still going at it. M19, Ultra.
Oh, very nicely done from Graham and Dark Angel, using the bushes and trees to their advantage there.
That's Ace fully eliminated. B13 somehow manages to stay alive with 4 people alive. But this circle's centered. And a lot of this new circle is on a road. And that means you cannot play any of it almost.
Yeah.
But look at that. On the top left on the minimap, Kuma is still alive. They're in 22nd. If they can manage to get a win here, or at least like a top 2 finish, it might show them some sign of life. That's definitely what they need to make it back here.
It really would as well. And keeping 4 alive at this position is very strong for these guys. Rest, we saw how well they were able to do yesterday. Lover's in trying to spray some players down, but he's just going to have to back away, heal himself up. Return fire comes out towards him, and DM are also looking for him now.
Yeah, Rest, as good as they were yesterday, I don't think they have anything to do against DM, who's currently gatekeeping them.
It's like, you want to come into this circle, you got to get through us, and that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Right, Rest they were owning yesterday, but now they're facing DM, and now they're just both forced to prone. They're not getting any free entries, and as soon as this blue starts to move, unless they can sneak their way past, I don't see any way the Rest gets out of this hand.
And I just love the positions here from DM. Matic out in the wall, bit on the open, Warframe checking the door, Nuke is on one of the other windows. They've got this on lockdown.
Yep.
B13 still now finding kills. They're going to stop Rosq Squad from coming in, but if they don't move soon, they're going to be taking damage that they will not be able to handle. It's not going to work out for them, so they've got to make the timing right now in how they want to approach this. They know exactly where all the other teams are, because let's be honest, it's been fighting non-stop now, so it's all understanding of where these teams are, but how do you try and fight into it? How do you find the space and cover to allow you not to get taken out by the zone?
Oh yeah, Rest actually gets an initial knock onto Nukes, and he gets another one onto Harley. Vafarin though, he's answering. So Rest is down to just Soul K, but this could hurt DM a lot since they have 2 knocked. We'll have to see if they have time enough to rest and recover.
Depends if anyone else wants to push on the DM at this point, if they've noticed what's been going on. OBS though back under fire, and it's B13 as they've made their way forward. They've been on point. They're just playing on the very edge of the zone. They've kept their wits about them, but they're lining up for Makar, who's spraying 2 of them down, looking for the 3rd. Damage has been done, and he's going in for these finish offs. He knows he wants these kills, and he's going to do as much as he can here, but you're not going to be able to survive that blue, mate. That's too much there. Dark Angel will kill him off, and Dark Angel just has to run forward because he cannot save his teammate.
Makar did the best he could. Gets a top 5 finish for himself. Rosq actually managed to stay in the blue for such a long time that he can share 4th place with him. We're down to just DM, B13, and Kuma. I want to see if Kuma can make something of this.
Kuma has the spot. So now the thing with Kuma, where they are, you've got 4 alive.
Yeah.
You do not need to now sit in this compound the whole time, because it's going to be out the next circle, you know it. Start to move forward while these guys battle, at least have a bit of confidence. We know you can frag when you want to, but you just seem scared on multiple occasions here.
You need to let the other teams get into the circle for free, and that will only happen if you stay too far back.
Yep. Slumpy's found himself knocked down. He's always the scout going forward. B13 the ones to get that done, though. Tapsy's got good information. He seems to be able to try and find at least one of the players. It's Matic, as we can see. Fishscale being pressured from all corners and all sides here. He maybe have to blend in as a bunny rabbit in white, but DM won't be falling for that. B13 managed to get the job done, at least a knock onto DM Snarly. Now this is the problem for DM. Trying to back away here. Where do they go? Oh!
That's what they do.
A nade comes out as Fishscale was about to try and get his off, and that's not going to work out for him. Dark Angel's going to use that as his timing to push up. And Kuma, they've still not really moved. Get Schlumpy up and start going forward, guys. That's how you want to try and take this win.
Yep. We're down to just Dark Angel, 3 from DM and 4 from Kuma. If Kuma ever had a chance to win, it's now. Yeah. We need to see them wake up, be proactive. Don't just let them run in the open. Look at DM. They're not even being challenged as they're running here into the zone.
This is where Kuma should be shooting. Dark Angel's on his own. Tapsy's found himself getting knocked out of it. And this is where I need to see individual skills. Take down Matic. There's 2 of them now poking at you. DM doing what they do best and just outplaying the other teams. But Nukers, he's been found by Dark Angel. Slumpy's able to get the kill, so that's them eliminated. And now we've got Kuma going up against DM. This is winnable for Kuma, but they are just running away. This is not the smart play to have here. Matic and Warfarin are up against Slumpy and Ramon now. This is a true 2v2. Nades going out. They know exactly where the Kuma players are, and this is where Kuma has to be very careful. It's going to have to be some precise shots to be used against them. Matic, our current kill leader overall. He has 3 kills now. Matic and Team DM99 already have 9 kills. They can get these final 2. That would be a huge win, but Kuma, they need this win more than DM do.
Yeah, and this is what we've been talking about so much. Kuma, they don't even know what to do when they have to take these fights. They had the compound, they had the cover, but they don't cover the angles. The DM, they're allowed to just run down almost for free.
The molly, though, it's going to burn off Warfarin at least for now.
But they're not holding it. He pushed him away from the tree, peeked the angle. Warfarin right now is laying in the middle of the open, but Kuma is not getting anything out of these advantages they make for themselves.
They do damage. They force players to move. but they don't capitalize on it. That is the problem. You are incredibly right. And they're even splitting meds now. This is how smart DM's being. They're so proactive in all of this. Now, there is plenty of meds up on Slumpy, at least from what we can see. Not sure about Ramon just yet, as they're going to go out for a heal off here for some of the DM players. They're waiting out, and Matic's, his health's just ticking away. Shots coming up. Slumpy trying to get it done. Shoots him, one down. Ramon's able to get the knock, and now it's going to turn into this bit of a heal off. Slumpy's pushing forward. Matic is just slowly burning out. Warfarin's going to die no matter what, and it's all about who can hang on with the meds as long as possible. Matic gets ready for it. Shots come out, and this is huge. Slumpy goes down. Matic now needs to get a bit of a return fight. It does happen. He goes down to the zone. Kuma take the win, but my oh my, that was stupidly close when it really shouldn't have been.
I'm so happy for them. They won a game.
Yes.
Do you remember that Sandhawk game where they had the wall up north? And I believe it was Magic.
Oh, and they both poked in the corners, yeah. Oh, that was crushing for him on that one as well.
But Kuma, take their first win in I don't know how many games, but I'm happy for them. They did it. With just 4 kills, they do get this circle favoring them in the end. DM, though, coming in. 9 kills, 2nd place. B13, 3rd place. Rosq, 4th place. OBS 5th. So 2 teams that we have mentioned in Kuma and OBS, they need all these points.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge for them. And everybody else that we see on this top 7 screen, we're used to seeing. They're here almost every time. Maybe with the odd one with B13, that has been a little bit inconsistent. But I feel like yesterday they started showing more signs of life than they did in the entire first week.
Maybe some of these teams just really do play with the pressure really put on them. They're like, we played badly, now we really have to work for our spot, and now we feel actually we've improved in some ways. Because it wasn't a huge killing game there from Kuma, actually the point differences here aren't that massive. We see 34 for Kuma, 31 for DM99, and the Golden Boyz up in their B13 with 27. Rosq are going to be very happy with theirs as well, all things considered, because they were under pressure early on. They took that really nice engagement against BML. A lot of teams here that you would expect to be within this, but quite a few as well that not normally are we seeing it. Obstruction being it, Kuma in there as well. And even OMGG, they've been a bit hit and miss at times.
You're right, and they're also in 20th position. So for some reason today, these teams, I think it's like to mention, the pressure, they're like, hey, we're actually low. We need to really step it up today if we even want a chance of going through. And that can definitely be motivation, or it's like, I look at it as like, when you have nothing to lose, you can actually play better because you just need to go all in, right?
Yeah, it always comes down to how bad do you want it, right? And that means if you start feeling like, yes, I want this is my game in the bag, then you see this like little elevation in the players and how they can kind of get it done. They maybe take risks that they wouldn't have normally taken when they were a bit more scared, because there is a big difference playing between being confident in your ability and then having the pressure being on, and being unconfident and scared of everything. Because like we saw from Kuma previously, yes, then was still very awkward at the end. There's a lot that they could learn from how they approached that. They probably could have won it out a little bit earlier and kept more players alive and just fragged out across it rather than let other players die out to the zone. But it was one of those things where it was, they still got the win, they still got their job done, and that's a lot of points those guys needed. Now we're going to a break as always, guys, before we head into our second match. But before that, you might want to head over to clubopen.pubgmobile.com. Why? Well, you've got all the standings there, all the information. You can see what we're talking about in terms of where some of these players and teams are and how many points they need today to make sure that they can get through to the regional finals. And also, if you want to look back at all the demos, you want to see anything from the VODs, the highlights, everything. And by the way, some of the highlights we had today from yesterday were on point. I was really enjoying those. But if you want to see any of that information, it's over on our YouTube channel as well. So make sure you head over to there and hit that subscribe button. It's break time. We'll be back real soon.
Zombie, Darkest Night. The newest mode in the zombie universe is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding the skill will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
play PUBG Mobile for free.
It's time for game 2 of our final day here of the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019. And we are going to Mr. Larson's favorite map. He's been waiting for it to come back into it. It's Miramar.
It's not my favorite map. I know where you got
You
it
were
from.
so upset that you didn't want, you wasn't in as much though. You were so.
That's true.
On day 1, he was like, "Oh, I got Miramar." He was really happy. Then we got Sanok the next day. Like, don't mind Sanok. We should see more Miramar. So it's now turned into your favorite map.
Erangel is my favorite map.
Yes, but everyone's favorite map is Erangel. Be different.
No.
Diversify.
No.
Damn it, Larson. You're supposed to go with me on this.
I like watching Miramar, but playing it? No, no.
Okay, favorite map to watch.
I don't know. One of them. But Erangel is just Erangel.
You'll never take Erangel out of Larson's heart, clearly. I get to enjoy Miramar regardless. It will be a fun watch, especially if our first game was anything to go by. Vikendi. What an interesting way that went down. Some of the harshest circles we've seen here over the last 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been going for so long. It's like, we've actually been really reasonable circles in, like, what, 80, 90% of games?
Yeah.
And then yesterday's Erangel, and now this Vikendi. What on earth is going to happen on Miramar?
You know, all the way in the west, all the way in the north,
Yep.
there's a lot of these rocks that are essentially like water. Actually, no. We're going to take it all the way to the east and go into 2 small islands in the water.
Oh, my God.
That's what we need to do. That or like a prison ending. Anything else is not acceptable.
If we get that, then everyone's going to say you've jinxed it massively. Like, you're very unhappy players once again.
Yeah.
Now, we saw Kuma take that win, right, when it came on Vikendi. A very unexpected win because this is a team who has, in the group stages, they confused us at the start, then they improved and at least made it through. But they made it through by the skin of their teeth. They were, what, within the top 16, but just about, like, edging their way in, I think?
They were like 23rd, 23rd, I think. They were like all the way at the bottom almost.
And then they just made it through onto the group stages. Now they've just squeezed here to regionals on 16 spot, but it's not guaranteed because other teams can jump up and push them back down. So they have to have another good performance, at least on a couple more of the maps. But you got to say, it was impressive that they did manage to hold it out with all things considered. I think if they were just that little, like they have the pieces, right? They clearly communicate. They clearly understood how they were going to play that last bit there as well when it was the 2v2. But one thing they don't just seem to do is want to frag out that much. It's all so passive the whole way around. Now, yes, they got a bit of circle luck on this last game of Vikendi, but I would have loved to see them just take a more forward position when it was the 3 teams left alive, because they could have got so many additional kills there.
But that's the thing with Kuma, right? They always take the passive approach.
Yeah.
So there, they just went to go to the center of the circle instead of just DM literally has to run through the open to come into the zone. You can just shoot them for free. But no, Kuma, like, they disengage, they go play the zone, and then eventually they do manage to close it out because it was the last zone, and they were closer to the center, but they need to work on their fights. That's all.
Now, Kuma, They're currently in 16th place with 141 points now. EpicGang, who are also still playing today and looking to get in, are just below them on 141 points. Then underneath that is TQ, who are on 140 points. So you see how close this bottom part is. It's absolutely insane that either of those teams can just quickly have one game, which isn't even half that good, just a couple of kills, and the other teams go out and you're laughing.
Definitely.
DM99, though, 3 more games to go.
Easy for them.
No problems whatsoever. What they got, 10 frags in that last game, or 9 frags. Now they're up at 335 points overall. And I think they're a team that will be singing, "Ain't no stopping us now," anytime soon.
I mean, they don't seem to stop. They've had one bad game, and that was the 16th spot where they died pretty early to White Balls, I remember. And everything else for them has just been a show, really.
It is a show of raw skill and talent and good communication for DM99. Ultra still in it, though, still looking comfortable. M19, didn't see too much from him on Vikendi, in all honesty. Like, they just pushed out, eventually went down to their death, but they didn't seem to get it really going. It was more no opportunity to snake this time, hard rotations, couldn't get where they wanted to get.
I feel like M19, they were stuck in between so many teams. When I was looking at the kill feed, they were fighting like 4 different teams, knocking back and forth, back and forth. And when you're surrounded by that many teams, yeah, you're not going to snake anywhere.
And that's not the way that we've seen M19 play over and over again. Rosq squad as well, once again able to do some good damage this time around. And they have a team that obviously they took the challenges against BML, then they had TQ near them. They're literally just onslaughting multiple teams.
Yep. And towards the end, they were actually blue healing to get a higher rank than whoever got 4th place or 5th place. It was, who was fighting B13? I think it was Rosq squad, maybe. No, it was actually Makar.
Makar, yeah, OBS
Makar, he was fighting B13, so Makar died before Rosq squad, but Rosq squad was just healing in the blue for like solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, we sat behind the tree just like, let's go, let's go. And why not? If you can make that work, get you those extra placement points, they are vital in just making sure you hold on to what you've got now. And we spoke about this before, so people might think, right, you got top 16 and you want to only be in top 16 to make sure you get to regionals. Actually, the better place you are, if you're a team without an organization, that's more bargaining chips to say, well, look, we're really dominant in semifinals. We've made it to regionals. We'll bring an even higher level when we put more practice in before. Do you want to come and support and sponsor our team?
Do you, like, what sounds better, top 5 or top 16?
Yeah, always top 5. Always
top 1?
Top 5.
Number 1?
Top 1, DM99, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're going to pick that up. That'd be a surefire choice when it comes down to it. And I think that's what's going to be interesting because, remember, it's only 2 teams that can qualify into the grand finals from the regional, which means if DM, even then, there is a world in which, because it's going to be that more competitive, right? We see the same 16 teams over and over again. Imagine a world where DM don't make it after this, like, incredible, I wouldn't say an amazing group stage, right? Just a good group stage, but an absolutely amazing semi-finals both weeks now. And then you go to regionals and something falls apart there. That would be crushing. I want them to stay on their A game, keep things going and working on it.
Yeah. I wish there were more public information about the regional finals. Because we don't actually know any more than you guys. We're not being told anything behind the scenes. So if it's not on the website, PUBGMOBILE.clubopen.com.
No, clubopen.PUBGMOBILE.com.
Clubopen.PUBGMOBILE.com.
But
I actually Google it, you'll find it. But yeah, we only know what's on the website, so we know the same as you. I wish I could know the regional finals. Are they a LAN tournament? Do these guys have to go in the LAN for the first time? Are they home and comfy? Because if they're under the same circumstances they are now, they're likely to do really, really good, right? And keep up the momentum they've been going. But if a lot of these players go to their first LAN tournament, that might change stuff drastically.
And that's it. LAN is a very different beast to online. We talk about it, not just the comfort of your own home, but just there's no pressure around you, right? You're just on your own, in your zone, you're talking with your teammates. When you get to a LAN, there's other teams, there's noise going on, there's the commentators, they can actually probably not hear us, obviously they've got the good headsets on and stuff, but I mean, it's the environment, right? When big explosions happen, you feel it in a venue itself. There's so many little things that change massively when you go onto a LAN system. That's going to be very interesting to see who's a bit more hardened in that kind of way than others. And also, it will talk about, we know this already, there are players within these lobbies who have played pro in other games before.
Yep, that is true. We do see a plane straight through the middle, pretty much. Nobody should be upset about this, but it's fine. They're going to be very sad when they see the circle goes to the east of Impala here, landing on the 2 small islands, having everybody to swim and die and just cry of sadness, but we're going to love it. But it won't happen. I'm just trying to be, you know, positive.
So when I woke up this morning, I got over my laptop and I was watching the games before I watched the last Erangel game just for the fun of it. And Twitch chat were literally just going, my God, these circles. Like everyone was like, what the hell? And people were trying to guess who was going to come in. And one of the teams people never thought would even make it towards the top 4 was Ultra. And yet, even though they got stuck on military base, they still managed to swim over that time. So anything is possible. It's all about timing and a little bit of luck on your side. We'll have to see where this next circle is going to go. Where are we going to start with? Will Larson be correct or will he be?
I'll be wrong. There's no way.
Don't say there's no way. Whenever you say
there's
that, there's
no
always
way.
a way. Ah, okay, it's not East, but
It's
that's
not a prison
fair
circle,
one.
not an island circle. What are we going to do with this? This is boring. I guess we could go to Picado, where Ultra is potentially fighting with another team. Pretty much every single time we played Miramar, there's a Picado fight. And look at that.
Oh, not again.
Rest, welcome to the lobby. Ultra, Romania. And maybe even more than that.
This is going to be so... These teams are going to kick off early on, and they've got to avoid trying to take some silly engagements. But ASE, they've started off straight away, taking a few shots at OMGG and Sticks. He's pushing forward. It looks like he's trying to find some meds, because I doubt at this point he's even found anything to work with.
Why is there so many teams in Los Leones here? Usually Los Leones is so big that you can comfortably share it, but I think we see at least 4 different teams on our screen there, and they're all close to each other. Not the way you want to start out your game on Miramar here. And we can also see what's happening here is a lot of these teams are not even grouped up together. Ace tries to make a move onto Sticks here, perhaps, but get caught in the side by Epic. Back and forth, back and forth. What a ridiculous beginning.
In the beginning, that is not going to help any of these guys, especially if any players get killed off early on. It just hinders you for further engagements. We consistently mention this because, yes, they want kill points. Yes, they want to sit there and take some more space. But unless you can do it as a full squad without losing players, then you're going to struggle. As welcome to the lobby, they've already lost 1 player straight away. You saw Jonathan just get finished off there by one of the Ultra players.
Yep, they actually landed in the same building inside Picado. I call it the 5-story because it's just a big building with a ladder outside where you can get on the roof eventually. And somehow they managed to separate up from their teams and just be in the same building. And Ultra got the better of it.
You need a contingency plan for when stuff like this happens, don't you?
There's no contingency plan when there's 4 teams around you. You're just...
No, but I mean, so if, for instance, this where welcome to the lobby is so split up. If this has happened early on, you notice there's loads of teams around you. You've obviously seen it from when you're flying down. You decide and say, all right, guys, we're going to focus on this house together to start off with.
Yeah.
And go as a unit, because they can only loot so much like the other teams. But at least if you do run into someone, you've got everyone there, or at least do it 2-2.
Yeah.
Soloing it up doesn't work.
I've never seen that many teams in Picado, so I agree with you. If I were there, if I saw, okay, there's literally 12 parachutes here, we should probably just get away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another option as well. Just don't go there. Choose a new location.
This is not worth it. And I need to... It's Rest, they probably qualified. It was welcome to the lobby. I think they could use some more points, but they're looking okay as well. Maybe they're good. So a lot of these teams that are in Picado right now, besides Romania, which won't qualify because they're dead last, are actually fine on the leaderboards in the sense that I don't think any of them won't qualify. Whereas welcome to the lobby, they're currently in 10th with 109 points. And I mean, obviously, Ultra, they're doing good. Rest, they're also doing good. They're in 9th with 212. So it's only really Romania that has a lot of... Actually, nobody has anything to lose here to the extent that supposedly they should already be qualified.
Now, B13 up all the way on the northeastern corner. They've got the hardest rotation ahead of them. But there's still a lot of, because how many teams are stacked up in similar location, there is a bit of space they can work with to get it going. So it's not the end of the world just yet for these guys.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how they deal with it, right? Because they've never had games where I say they've got circle luck the entire time, but they have had some nice positions to play into, and it's not been like the end of the world. It's not hindered them the whole way through. So let's see what can happen to them this time, where they've got a long way to go, and it's very different to what we've seen from them on previous maps.
Oh, yeah. This is very normal for Miramar, though, which is why I was a little bit passive towards getting called this is my favorite map, because it is really big. It's 8x8, and it feels bigger than Erangel because it feels like there's a lot less water in it as well. So there's actually more ground. So for the first couple of circles, it's very slow, very steady. But after that, the long-range battle, they can be really, really interesting. Because of the terrain on the map, you can do some really interesting flanks that you can't do in any other maps. And it just shows you, whatever team has the most confidence and know how to take these fights, they're gonna have such a good time on Miramar because you can do a lot of things you're not able to do on other maps.
Now the Romanians, they're doing it correctly. I can see all 4 players together. They threw a nade out, managed to get a knock in there. Ultra's also getting involved. Kuma, Tabsy, he's found himself knocked down from M19 elsewhere on the map. But Romanians trying to play this as good as they can.
Kuma, if I remember correctly, they're just doing split loot strats, you know, one by one, trying to get some small compounds to loot up from. And then it happens that you actually get picked up one by one. I said one by one a lot there. But when you're alone and you run into other people, there's no chance to trade, there's no chance for revives. And if you don't loot in the cities close to each other, that might just happen to you. And that's why you see so many teams up to loot in the cities. I mean, the loot can potentially be as good as if you loot outside.
Yeah.
But you stay all close together. If something were to go wrong, you can usually help each other out. And teams don't like just random crash into a city in the early game. You're just like, okay, if you want it, you got it. You're not gonna get contested there. Sometimes, because here, 4 teams Las Leones, 4 teams Picado. But this is exactly what we saw in the end of the group stages as well, right? When these teams felt like they qualified, they're like, hey, if we can go land in this city and win it, we might get it for the next stage.
Yeah.
So we actually don't need to get that many points. But they're saying, if we can get some practice in Picado and maybe scare away some other teams, that would be really worth it. And I mean, Ultra, for example, 5th spot, they were 100% through.
Yeah. No worries for them at all. No worries for quite a few of these teams now as Tudor finds himself getting beaten up.
Yeah. He did get knocked, and then he just, yeah. You know, showing some respect, punching him out instead of, like, you know, shooting him. Just make it slow, make it suffer a bit more. Laugh at him that he's alone and he has no help from his teammates. You know, just being really respectful.
I don't know why he split off, because the whole of them were in the same building as well for Romania. It's just all 4 sat there.
Yeah, he probably wanted some more loot.
He was like, oh, I'm just going to go elsewhere, guys. I think we've cleared it off. And then instead runs into rest. B13 in the middle of rotating through the blue at the moment, just all the way down south. But it is only phase 1, so it's not going to be a huge problem for these guys anytime soon. The Romanians may have started off good, as you can see on the map. They're actually going to be just falling back a little bit. Rambo just a while ago went and got himself the car and repositioned it, so they'll be ready to rotate when they do require to.
Yeah. OBS, they're finally moving. Happy to see that they split up, take more vehicles, don't just have to drive in one. On Miramar, though, it can be very hard, so having a Dacia, having a Mirado is nice. I don't like the big trucks, I don't like the big vans. Dacia, bikes, Mirados, yep, that's pretty much all I want to drive in. Sometimes you don't have that luxury, but...
Joe, I swear, I am literally the worst ever PUBG bike player. I still can't even do it on Miramar. I know...
What?
Yeah, I know you flamed me for it last time.
You just never let go of W and you win.
And then I can't control it and I crash into stuff.
This is jump, so you do this loop and you go like, wee! And then back to, that's fine.
I just crash, because it's so bumpy and hilly, I go over things and I'm like, uh-oh. I like to have my wits about me, and sadly, when I'm going that fast, it doesn't happen too often. As the new circle pops, we go pretty much center, a little bit more down towards the south. Kuma, they'll be happy with this one. A bit split up at the moment. Looks like you got 3 players in one direction coming from the very south, and then Bullet is up over towards the western side of it for now.
Yeah. We do get an airdrop outside Picado, but these guys are a little bit too busy to
Yeah.
look anywhere else.
They're focused elsewhere, that's for sure.
But this is straight towards the center of the zone, and some team might benefit from it later on, potentially, if people decide to go in that direction.
Now, Rest, this is what I like to see, right? They are doing it, but they're doing it in a 2-2 split. Welcome to the lobby. How many players from Welcome to the lobby have been literally knocked down? They had Romania knocked 2 of them down to start off with. Ultra have now hit 2 or 3 down.
Yeah.
Welcome to the lobby are thinking, okay, there's too many windows in this place. Shall we just get out of here? This is not really worth it anymore.
But look at Asata. 0 meds at all whatsoever. They have 2 K9s. Asata had a 3X, but his homie next to him literally had an Ironside K9. Canadian. I was like, is this really worth it? I guess it is, right?
That's me on a bike.
Wait, what happened?
Talkbacker got knocked by himself.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's me. That is literally, I didn't know it was a bike. I can't confirm it's just a vehicle knock. But I guarantee you that would be me if it was a bike. I have to practice my bike skills.
James, you have to fall down before you can stand up.
I know. Get me stabilizers, maybe.
I feel like those would hinder you.
So I'd be a bit steadier on the rocks. Or give me a free wheeler.
If you want to be steady on the rock, I don't think it's a motorcycle you're looking to drive off-road with.
That's why I avoid it. See, if I want to win, don't give me a motorbike. The moment I have a motorbike, I do it carefully, and then I just go looking for the next car, and I say, okay, there we go.
You just race. The bike is the best! I don't care.
Oh. Practice makes perfect, and that's what some of these teams certainly do need to do. Practice a fair few things in terms of teamwork, the way they engage into fights.
Yeah. Ace here. They were still looting all three together, right? So when you loot in a city like Los Jonas, if you can split up, you can be done looting in a minute.
Yeah.
But these guys were 12 minutes into the game and they're still looting. And that's just because there's so many teams standing near them. They have to stick together. And it's just like, wait, I don't know. If I had to play and like split my loot with other people, I wouldn't have fun. I love looting. Nobody has to, like, if I land in a building, I don't want anybody near me. I want to be able to do everything for myself.
No, that's the key thing, right? If you want to really get off to a good start, because like we just saw there, it was so populated that multiple players and teams didn't even have meds.
Yep.
And that's just not good when you find yourself getting knocked down all the time. And talking about knocks,
That's
Twice is going to go for a bit of long range there. Pretty good, pretty impressive against the Magic players. How much more can he get done? He's hungry for a little bit more. Go on, poke me, he's saying. Give me an inch and I'm going to take a mile.
Yep. BML here. We can talk a bit about them. I believe they're not doing very good in the standings. They're down at like the low 20s. And they need to really show up. We did see them. I'm just going to go back to the group stages. They were like, they either won with 20 kills or they died in 16th. But in the group stages, they were able to win enough games with super high kill counts that they could make it through comfortably. But here in the semifinals, they just haven't been able to close out any games. And with their lack of consistency, that's really, really hurt them here.
Well, both those teams we just talked about, Magic and BML, are going to have to rotate down a little bit south into the new circle. The south circle stayed towards the south, but gone a little bit more over towards the east. For B13, who started all the way at the north, they're not going to be loving life, but neither is Rest the Solke. He's one of the key players for that team. He has had such good individual performances to hold his team in it. He's found himself not only knocked, but killed off straight away there.
Never lucky from Solke. That's probably on a rotation. I mean, we don't know what happened, but he's probably driving past, gets knocked out, get flushed, while his team is a little bit behind him. We do see Solke. He's the guy who takes the initiative from Rest, more likely than not. So he might just have been a little bit ahead of his team, trying to get some information. Maybe being greedy for a kill. Who knows? BML here, like you mentioned, they have ways to go into the zone. It popped over to the east, kind of southeast though, a little bit towards Los Leones as well.
Rosq squad going to begin their own rotations as well. Melo looks to maybe just scout from the hillside first to see who could be down below. BML will be able to grab themselves a supply drop. Very happy with that, I'm sure. But they do, at this point, want to make sure they do get inside the circle earlier. They can see that how close that blue will be creeping up on them.
Yep.
Epic, the team who is now sadly outside of the top 16. Kuma's taken their spot effectively.
By 2 points. 2
points is all it is. All it is. And that's because they went out quite early on. We saw it before. As we're going to get a bit of a drive-by shooting going on here. Billy's just spraying away. Hopefully he can hit something. Sade is there as well in the background. And Magic is just trying to run away. This is a good old-fashioned car chase, but no one's getting knocked down yet. It's like we're in the PUBG Mobile Hollywood movie.
We have seen a lot of knocks actually come through with these kind of chases and engagements, so definitely a worthwhile strategy, as long as you can make sure there's nobody else around you that want to harm you.
Yeah.
But since they're so far out of the zone, you can chase a little bit, you can try to have some fun, but the later you get into the game, you just want to be careful when you drive and not lose people in your rotations.
BML can still potentially run into these Magic players. Vasil is there, and they're taking shots at him, but they're not making it connect just yet. He loses a bit of health, about 25% off that shot, and he's just going to try and get himself a way out of this. Driving, and he will escape for now, but BML, they just want to get super aggressive today, it seems.
Oh yeah, and they need to, right? They need every single point they can get, and just by hiding, that doesn't really net you anything. You need to take control over the zone.
Wow.
One thing they do not have anymore, as it goes even more to the east, this is a cool area. Everything south of this road is just hilltops. They can have plenty of teams.
Yep.
And allow for good flanks, good pushes, everything really. I love hill endings.
Well, who also loves hill endings is DM. We saw them take that very impressive win on day one for Miramar. But some players are going to even go out to the play zone here. Magic and Rest still fighting back and forth, and nothing's really benefited these teams fighting so early. Welcome to the lobby. Rest, Magic in there as well. Well, Magic's got their people together, but again, you've spent a lot of time. You're still not in the circle.
Yep, Teacher here, making the way slowly and steadily in. Kuma, why did they split? What happened to them?
That's what they were in a 3-1 split. I thought they would have grouped up right because that was on the first rotation of Circle 1. We're now on phase 4, and Bultit's still on his own.
He's like, yeah, I got this, guys.
Maybe he's going for the prone, like snake.
Look at this though. OMGG is in a compound. Rosq drives up there. Hop gets snugged, but at the same time, Romania squad stopped at the compound too, and now the trades are going back and forth. But very shortly, we'll see Romania join that list of fighting, because they jumped just outside the compound. You look at Romania here, Chris. He's sneaking up, seeing if it's start the engagement onto OMGG.
Needs to get these reses off though.
Look at that. The entire Romanian squad is here now.
Romania and Rosq and OMGG. They've got one little shack each to fight from. I can see nades being absolutely crazy pivotal in this, and that's what Melo's going to throw up first. Goes out. Styx doesn't seem fully aware.
Ooh. Ah.
There. Wow, he avoided. Okay, he healed just at the right time, so he just took some damage. Molotov goes out, but that's just out in the open from the Romanian team. More nades happening, and Melo, he's just going to keep using them to his advantage and find what knocks he can. Rambo's going to drop smoke out by the looks of it as well to ensure that he can get a bit of space with this. So they need to keep themselves covered. They're well aware that there's now 3 teams here, and it's all about who can stand strong and who can hold the longest here.
Oh, no.
As Andy finds himself getting sprayed down in the open, they instantly go in for the finish off onto him. Styx is able to get the job done. He's the solo player left alive for OMGG. Harb comes out spraying him in. The question is now, does the other team decide to jump on into this?
Yeah, Romania right now needs to be proactive. They need to commit to this. But are they actually? No.
They went down as well.
How? When? Why?
What?
How did they die?
Did Rosq, sorry, just come in and just clean up everyone? They must have.
I guess this is the reason why they're in 24th. I don't know how that just happened, because the entirety of Rosq, they were pushing into OMGG, they were very busy with them. It must have been just one player soloing the entirety of Romania at that point.
Insanity going down there. This still makes it work. Slumpy's found himself back on the floor. He's always the point man for this Kuma lineup. Now they still split apart a little bit here. It looks it.
See, Bullet, he knew that his team wouldn't be good, so he just split up for them, and that's why we see everybody but Bullet just right now about to be done. Because Raman, he's not going to make it out of it. Already lost Slumpy and Topsy. And could you imagine if Bullet does something crazy this game?
And he's actually working around the eastern side there.
Oh, no.
The circle moves away from him.
Not what you want to see if you're a fan of Kuma and Bullet. But DM here, they're in a position to pick up a lot of kills. M19, this is a very, very tricky spot to play. As we can see, they have Ultra right next to them. Below them, there's B13 and TQ.
Yep.
And if M19 commits to one fight, there's huge chance they're going to get third-partied. So you can't commit all of your team members to taking the fight. You have to have people also checking your surroundings, making sure you're not getting flanked all of the time.
Now Epic on your screens just over there in the horizon. We saw him get 1 kill already so far, I believe. They need a lot more than that if they want to play catch-up here and grab themselves into the regional finals. B13 looking to push on to TQ, who also can't afford to be going down early on. This would be horrendous for him.
Yeah.
Luckily, Thanos is there to put some pressure onto B13, but they're getting taken down once again. So this means B13 and TQ probably going to gain nothing from this, and M19 are going to have a field day shooting them off on the side.
Yeah, and if they spot Rosq, they also have to move out. They can gatekeep so many teams here and rack up a ton of kills. But it is Miramar. It is hard to spot a lot of these guys. They'll just, pop out of nowhere.
I'm loving it, though, because we've actually started to see M19 on every game since they first played on day 1, now actually being a lot more active on the kills. Before, it was all passive, 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 but they've started to get this confidence in there.
There we talk about the third penny. Ultra from the side, who's already inside the zone with the MK14, taking down Rogi, maybe helping teams like Rosq and B13 to get a little bit of breathing room, getting some of these revives in. But at the same time, Ultra, they're probably being third-partied by Epic here, and they have to revive. So many teams, so much third-partying. everybody is helping everybody.
Or not helping everybody, if it's the case as well, because this has become a cluster of kills and knocks, and not always getting the finish off as in there, as Wenzi spraying down. Did spot out another one of the BML players. Could he be the only BML player left alive?
Definitely, we don't see anyone else in the vicinity, and we're down to just 31 players with 11 teams alive. So a lot of these teams, they're not going to be 4 players strong.
DM still up on the scoreboard there. You see Carly get himself one extra kill in there. Bullet does actually find a knock onto ASE, but is he going to take on the whole team of ASE? Because he is completely alone as he is now.
I mean, the team just got eliminated. It could have been one member from ASE, and that's why Bullet took the fight. But we can see that's actually not the case. It's there on our screen.
More shots being tapped away by Wenzi. He's staying very active, but he's still close by to his teammates as they're working their way up this hill, using the smokes to their advantage. DM on the edge of the circle, but they've got a good set of compounds to play from here.
Yep,
It's a
another
real
good
nice
circle
hilltop.
for them too.
Spear going to go down. Kotoyo is also going to be found by Matic, and Matic, he is the fragging machine. Doesn't matter who he comes up against, he is able to do something crazy, hold him back, take him down potentially.
He just pushed on top of the mountain and soloed out, like literally soloed himself, just soloed Ace while this rest of the team were resting. He is a force to be reckoned with. He's maybe too confident, right? Even though you're as good as Matic is, you have 4 members of the team. Just bring a guy with you to make sure that you don't get knocked and flushed.
Play it safe every now and again is always a good option. We know you're good. We know you've qualified already, but still. You might get yourself into bad habits, right? I've seen that many times where players, they look so strong and then they have a couple of good games and they just do something really stupid and go out and like last place or near last place just because they were thinking they're unstoppable.
Yeah. Bullets gets found out. They got 9th spot, so not close to a victory. A little bit of points, but if you get into those top 5, it's so much more significant how much you actually achieve. And Epic, a team that is just 2 points behind Kuma here, is making it that way. We see Rogue here finally engaging with Ultra, but Ultra is also getting flanked from behind. And at the same time, Rosq is flanking M19. Nobody here can get a break. As we see Ultra, they're getting pinched now. They have 3 knocks, I believe, and it's just up to 1 member. Epic here with 3. They need to commit to this fight right now.
Nades would be absolutely huge here for multiple teams because they have got clusters of teams all trying to revive people at the moment, but they're fighting amongst the little ridges here, up and down poking, trying to see if they can see anyone else in there. A nade goes out, which is what I like to see from the Epic boys. They found 5 kills already, so they're certainly going to go ahead of Kuma, and they're looking for some more. That could be Ultra Beam. Ultra's wiped, that's it. Epic have taken down Ultra. M19 still trying to fight back a little bit here, but Rosq squad, they believe they can get the job done. They're not going to flush out Rogi just yet. Lightning is down on the floor, hiding. He's very much out in the open, though. You can be seen quite easily that. It's a bit of shade, admittedly. Maybe he's hot, but you never know. All comes down to timing of how they're going to push into it, as DM have got themselves out, open, and active. And, oh, guess who's on the scoreboard again? It's Matic. He finds a knock onto Spear, and it's almost like a joke at the moment. It's just every kill you see, Matic's going to be somewhere involved.
And look at this. Who do you think they'll leave the airdrop to? Obviously, it's Matic. Nobody else was even thinking about going for it. And straight away, Matic is like, all right, making sure nobody's looking at him. And he takes it straight away. They know it. We know it. Matic is a force to be reckoned with, and they just prioritize it so highly to give him the level 3 stuff to make sure he can do whatever he wants to do.
And it's so key in keeping him alive and keeping him going, because if you've got a player that aggressive, you can get him boosted up with level 3 gear, he just becomes this, like, tanky beast that can also spray everyone down that he comes in front of. Now, Rosq squad still trying to fight back against DM here, but look, Matic's are now going to get up close and personal. He's going to go and try to take the fight towards him, and they're hitting a couple of shots there, but he can't get any knocks just yet. He's got to try and play this smart. He knows exactly where they are, and Warfarin, you're poking up. You're showing too much skin, mate. You're being hit down. But still, Andy, not confident, not good enough to land every single shot there, and he needs to start doing this if his team want to have a chance. They look like they're going to try and flank around the side, which could be an interesting approach to take.
Lightning actually went inside of the vehicle now to try and hide it in the passenger seat.
I love it.
Interesting approach. Very unique as well.
Something different.
Yeah.
Epic now, though, finding DM. Going to take a few shots, but it's just this waiting game. Who's going to have to move out of their comfy position first, coming out of these zones?
Seems like DM is the only one who's comfortably in the zone here. Magic Fear, he's been alone this entire game. He decides to take the shots onto Epic here, but surely he won't get anything more than that. And that's
Really
going to
good
be
spray.
Fear probably going out in 5th position here.
Such a strong spray there from Tron. Did manage to get the final one there. Maddox found himself knocked down. Not something we say all too often, but Warfarin instantly is able to reply, and that's exactly what these guys will do. Teamwork is key, and teamwork makes the dream work, and the dream for DM is to get as many points as possible and show their dominance here over the Europe region. As if they haven't done it already, Epic is starting to truly come into this, and they are saying, okay, we can turn things around. This is going to be our Miramar game. But Rosq is still under pressure, no matter what they're trying to do. They've tried to go around the side. They've got some players on top of the hill, but it's just not working out here against DM.
And look at Lightning. He's still inside the vehicle. He's inside the smoke. Rosq has no idea that's happening.
Oh,
As
he
I
got
say that,
taken.
the smoke dissipated. And finally, M19 goes out in 4th. But that leaves Andy alone. Come right now is being knocked and flushed. DM, even though we've seen them get knocked time and time again, they're 4-man strong. So in a 4v2v1, I believe.
The teamwork and the communication on DM, I cannot stress how good it is. Andy's the only one still up at the moment for Rosq, and he's just going to be waiting. But Epic, they seem to know exactly where he is going to be. I'm going to wait for him to see if he has to pop up anytime soon. Epic, though, the problem for them, they've only got 2 players left alive. Andy manages to get a nade off, so that's another knock. He gets a double knock. That's huge, and Andy... Oh, no, this could be huge. Andy looking to get them all wiped out. And Andy takes down DM19 single-handedly now. But this benefits Epic more than anyone. Now it's in a 2v1, and Epic have a full control position to fight from.
What a play from Andy. Fighting nades at... like when he needs the most, because we saw the DM, they were all stuck in one spot. They were afraid of moving out. If they push Andy, okay.
Andy, he could clutch this out. This would be huge. They've had 18 kills.
Nady?
Andy's got 7 kills. He's got no meds to play with here. Wenzy's not going to be able to get this res off. It's all going to come down to time. They're trying to use the third-person action as best they can. Andy knows exactly where he is. It's all a waiting game. Andy knows the pressure's on. He knows exactly how this will be played out. If they get the res off, though, that's going to be huge. It's all going to come down to timing, and this is what he's looking for. If Andy pushes forward now, he knows he might have to jump off that revive, and that's exactly what he does! Andy not only taking down DM, but Epic when all the stacks, just odds were stacked against him massively there. A 1v4 and a 1v2. That is the best play we have seen so far in the semifinals. Absolute
Definitely.
clutch.
Something we never thought would happen to a team like DM, 4-man strong. But Andy manages to connect, I don't know how many nades was that. Was it 2 or 3 knocks?
Yeah, 3 knocks definitely
3
at the
knocks
end
with
there.
nades. Because DM, they made a mistake there. They were all just stacked in the same spot, not expecting him to have any nades so late. Might have been a benefit of Lightning being in the truck for so long that he was able to loot the body, get the grenades. And how did he connect onto Epic? Because I didn't see Epic through Andy's eyes there. But he manages to find the nade, cooks it to perfection, get the initial knock, and he did so much damage to Wency as well.
20 kills, 50 points. Rosq living the dream. EpicGang getting 33. They were previously in 17th place with 141. This is going to really help them jump up once again. DM99, as always, only 4 kill points, despite how many teams we saw them knock down, but they still got 23 points with it. M19 in it. We saw Lightning, he just proned up, chilled in the car as long as he could, as long as he would be left alone. And then we see Magic, Ultra, OBS, and B13, the Golden Boyz themselves, all within our top 8 for match 2. My God, I want to see that Andy play again and again and again. That was so solid. Like,
Definitely.
unreal that he was able to take down DM. Like, obviously the nade was the... Okay, he landed it. It was a perfect nade through. But DM should have never been that stacked together, so that's an error on their part. And then Andy just comes out and he's then able to frag out, puts it into a 1v3. Because, yeah, you had the 2 Epic players there as well. And so then an Epic could have pushed him at any point while this was going on because they heard it all happening, but they just wanted to wait it out. They waited for it to happen. And they allowed Andy then to take them 1v2. And he had no meds during all of that.
But I don't believe that Epic expected Andy to hit that nade onto them. That was cooked to perfection. How did he even know they were there?
Well, so Epic took a few shots at them, right, for quite a bit of time. So I'm guessing he just had an idea that, okay, they may have moved, may have not, so we'll just try it. And he decided, he was like, cool, I'm just going to get the nade, get it ready, chuck it over the top, and hope that it was going to land. And they were right there. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. I love it.
Yeah, that just showcases how important it is. If you can save utility to the late game, I mean, this is not something you can do all the time, but without the nades there, he would never have won. He wouldn't even been close to winning.
But what he was lacking was a lot of meds, and it didn't even matter in the end. We've got Erangel only coming up now, and if we see a performance better than what we've just seen from Andy, because I've not seen anything throughout this European region as good as that, I'll be very, very surprised. That was an absolute pleasure to watch. And as always, guys, if you want to keep up to date with all of the standings, see where your favorite teams are, head over to clubopen.pubgmobile.com. It's not only the standings either, it's got the schedule on there, it's got all the information for the other regions, the rules, and everything you want to know about the Club Open, because maybe you're thinking you want to get involved when it comes to the next season. And you can also head over to our YouTube channel, where you can drop that little subscribe button, hit that for us, and you can see all the great content that comes out on the channel from our region and all the others, highlights, VODs, and so much more. You don't want to miss any of that stuff, because honestly, this has just been crazy to watch. We've seen some incredible moments. We spoke about Pro God Lord, right? Having the 1v3s, he did that twice, and he just completely beat him on that. So let's see if anyone else can match it. It's Erangel coming up next. We'll see you soon.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
Two games of Erangel is all that separates us from deciding who our top 16 teams are and who will be going to the Europe Regional Finals. That is what today is all being about. This is what this entire set of 4 weeks for the PUBG Club Open Mobile 2019 event has been all about. And as always, you've got myself, James Banks, and Mr. Matthias Larson to my left. And one thing we got to look at straight away is that game, not just from Rosq, or Rosq, sorry, I've got to keep getting that right. But actually, EpicGang has helped them so much because they were in a position where we're saying just a few points separate them between that 16th place. Well, they got a good amount of kills and a high placement off the back of it. That's helped them jump up. But it's not helped them jump up that far yet, and that just proves how close this all is. So it can still change over these next couple of games. One bad game when you're on the edge, and it's still, you're not going to be through.
I'm just thinking to myself, since it's so close between like 12th through 20th, maybe like 18th, 19th, but even then, like, trying to think about scores right now in this game and the next game is just like, it doesn't matter. Because one game doesn't change enough for these teams, right? They're so far behind and they're so close in the scoreboard that even just having one really good game doesn't solidify them enough. Because everything is just so close. So I really like when I can say, oh yeah, this is going to happen, and these guys, yeah, but there's just too many factors.
There are many factors is what it's going to come down to, and also depends on how good some of the top teams still do, because teams like DM, not slowing down anytime soon. Teams like Rosq, they've just come away with another win there with that just ridiculous performance from Andy. I just want to watch it over and over again. It was just so well done. But they were already qualified anyway. Yeah. So their points are just like, oh, happy days points. We now actually see Rosq have got themselves into 4th place off the back of that. Yeah. And most of the other teams around them are still not got games to play anymore. So. And
I feel like Rosq kind of came out of nowhere because, at least in the first week, I felt like we didn't see a lot from them to some degree. And then they just slowly and steadily been creeping up, not having any bad performances, and now starting to get a lot of those big games.
Now, even though ASE went out a little bit earlier than most teams, they still managed to creep their way up now into the top 16. EpicGang pushed themselves up now to 14th. FeelThePain, well, there's a lot more than just pain coming their way, because more and more games go by and they start to drop off here. Look how many teams can quickly push them down to on this like 15th position.
How many points do Kuma currently have?
Kuma is currently with 152 points in 17th place.
152, so it'll need a little over 30 points to overtake them. But it's only 2 games left, and getting over 30 points in 2 games is doable, but like to get 15 points, I believe you need to get top 6 from just placements alone, right? Yeah. So they would need like 2 top 5 games with maybe a few kills to solidify they get over FeelThePain, and that's like a guaranteed spot. But a lot of these teams like can easily do it. We see Magic, we see EpicGang, 10 points, they're past them, right? And FeelThePain, not gonna be happy right now. They'll be watching, they're gonna be like, okay, everybody below us, can you please just die early? Thank you.
And DM19, right? They went out in 3rd place. They've still got 358 points now. They're just looking to, I think their goal is to hit 400. That's what they're trying to do in the next 2 games, see if that's possible. And from them, truly anything is possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they do manage to get that done. Rosq, obviously, like we said, they moved up to 4th place now, looking very strong there indeed. M19 Ultra and Resto, still a lot can change for these guys in a positive way if they do have these good games. Unfortunately for the previous game on Rest, Solke went out very early, and he is kind of the man that seems to give them the motivation and momentum they need.
But to be fair, Rest, Ultra, they did both land in Picado. They were fighting early. They kind of didn't have a lot to work with because they were so little loot for them to actually get into, right? Yeah. So these teams, I felt like they were like, yeah, we know we're through. We made it. Maybe we can scare away some of the other teams from the regional finals, because now we're down to just 16 teams. After today, you'll be playing against the same teams over and over again, where previously we've been changing up the lobbies, so you have to like hope that nobody lands with you, because you can't necessarily say what everyone's going to do.
All about that research.
But even then, like, you can't research, because one team might be scared of you, so they won't land in the same spot, etc., etc. But when you're down to 16 teams, you can pretty much tell where everyone's going to go. So some of these teams now that are already qualified, they might be like, hey, I want Pachinki, I want containers, I want this, I want that.
Trying to hold on to their spots, as we're going to have quite a rough plane for our first Erangel game here. It's going to be going all the way from Milta Power down towards just the waters of Primorsk and military base.
This is probably one of the worst airplanes in the game. Just think about it. It's so far south, you cannot go anywhere. And when you look south of Pachinki, there's not really that many car spawns. So some of these could be okay if there were small car spawns, but like south of Pachinki, between the Western Bridge and Primorsk, there's a few car spawns. It's just not fun to be on the western side of the map here when the plane goes like this. Sometimes I remember we went to go to South Georgia Bowl. We would literally land in the military base to grab cars and then drive all the way up to Georgiapol.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a long drive ahead of you. Ultra, though, they will comfortably get their spot in military base. They'll be happy with this one.
Yep.
No one going mil to power, surprisingly, though. So I thought maybe some of the other teams who see this playing would have thought, all right, do we just go and take that? Obviously not. Because we're going to have OMGG and Epic quite near each other here. They won't be fighting anytime soon, though. There's plenty of room within this for them to work with for now.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that a lot of these teams that are fighting, battling each other right now, and today, it's like this early on, is teams that are close to elimination, teams that haven't qualified yet. So it's the same teams fighting over and over again early on.
Yeah. And that's where it comes down to this, like, we're just wanting to play, we want to get involved in it, and we're not wanting to back away, we're not wanting to give up, where sometimes it is just better to say, do you know what? I don't want to take this engagement, I don't want to take this fight, I don't want to lose a player early on. And OMGG is certainly one of those teams that can't lose a player early on, currently set in 19th place, 141 points of them.
Yeah, we could see though Epic, they drove away, they gave up Lipovka, they were having none of it.
They're like, it's yours, it's fine.
Kuma and B13, they've always been landing in Milta. And they should do the research, right? Kuma. Avangar's not on the server. Milta Power is free.
Yeah.
So if B13 push you out, I know B13 have wiped Kuma before inside the little Milta city, then you can go to Milta Power instead and still have like kind of similar rotations, have good enough loot. But instead now they're all running around, looting the farm area. It doesn't seem to have any vehicles. But that is what the research can let you, right? Say, alright, it's only really Avangar who's been dropping in Milta Power, so that is free. And I mean, it's not necessarily fair to assume all that, because look at the airplane. A lot of teams, even though we're like a couple of minutes into the game, they're still rotating. We see Ace, we see Welcome to the Lobby. OPS might be looting those compounds, which would be really, really bad. But they might have been forced to be where they are right now just because of lack of vehicles. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Look at that, they were just stuck running because the airplane is literally just, there's no cars, and then you can't go to where you want to go. Welcome to the lobby. They have been looting North Georgiapol a lot, I believe.
That's soul destroying, isn't it? When you've got no cars, you're literally like, guess we're running, boys.
But on the bright side, I believe they do have the zone on the western side of the map at least. So anybody who felt like they got cheated on a little bit by the plane, they can be happy that they're in the zone. They don't have to go back to the east again.
Do you know what? I'm going to blame us because we said for so long, oh, we've had really good circles. It's been fair circles, nice circles over and over again. And then in the last day and a half, it's just been the most crazy circles or planes that we've had over here.
Can we have another milli circle in the next game?
I'd be happy with
and
that.
then I want like a super northern plane so nobody can land near the island.
It's like pure north going across just in a straight line west-east.
Yeah. That sounds good.
You would love that, Mr. Larson. You really would.
I don't know why. How do you become like me?
Playing too much PUBG.
True.
You've seen it all, so you're like, I know how this happens. I know what I'll do.
I've suffered this. I want you guys to suffer now. But I mean, it is good fun, and it does, like, there's a very diversity in the circles. This is what makes PUBG so great. One team, you can't just practice, landing a Vikendi over and over again and then expect to do good. You need to be able to adapt to so many different situations. And, for example, like here, you're coming so late in that even though you normally maybe have South Georgiapol, hey, now there's another team ahead of you. You guys were slow at getting cars, grouping up.
Yeah.
And now OBS, I believe they're going for the hospital. But if they drive into South Georgiapol here, they might get surprised.
And like you said, welcome to the lobby. They did finally grab some cars. We saw it just a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
And if they do make their way all the way up to North George, they're going to have to get some fast looting on go. Yes, the circle's a little bit closer, but that circle will come in, and it will come in fast.
I feel like you're already so slow, so it doesn't matter. You just
take
come in
the
circle
damage.
3 anyway, because you already spent this much time. You won't get a super good spot. And how did Vice die? I didn't see that, but we're down to 63. And he must have been killed by an enemy player, by maybe a gun or a vehicle, or worst case scenario, some fist.
worst case scenario, some fist. He's like looting, someone walks up to him, he's like, no, please no.
Yep, being bullied.
Now the Romanians here, they are currently in last place with 75 points.
So for them, they just need to get 20 points so they can beat CZ and not be dead last. Then they're only second at last.
They got 2 games to do it, and it's not impossible. But they would probably have to focus on kills given their current placements. It's actually welcome to the lobby. They get to a spot they want to fight from. They actually end up fighting. They get 2 knocks at least to start off, I believe that was.
It was not going to kill on
Oh, he went straight in for the flush.
If I didn't... Yeah, I think I saw that. Look at that. Epic and welcome to the lobby. They're still looting. But M19 and DM, they're already rotating in. And that's just how slow of a start some of these teams have had. Very, very unfortunate for them. But here, Kali, he's very far away from his team. Okay, they're coming in, but they're still like 20, 30 seconds behind him. So they need to be careful with what information they can give. I don't think we've seen the full team of DM. Unless there's just a lot of people inside the last US.
And I am loving how active we're seeing M19. I keep coming back to it because, guys, if you were watching, if you're only just tuning in maybe for this final week, M19 previously were getting their placement points purely off getting 2, 3 players alive, not really fighting that massively, but also snaking up a bit. Now we have seen them in the last day just literally frag out. The first day one here that we had at semi-finals, they were looking to start getting kills, and they've continued this on today. So I respect a style change coming in here.
Yeah, it's good for them. They definitely need to be more aggressive if they want to secure a top 2 spot in the regional finals coming up ahead of them. You can't just camp your way to win. If that were the case, then I'm sure Kuma would be fantastic. They might be even on top of the leaderboard. But I actually don't know a camping game. We're not playing like some Minecraft server where we're building pretty things. We're here to eat chicken dinners, probably the best there is, and also hit some really amazing shots.
And nothing feels better than hitting those amazing shots, seeing those headshots hit galore, and also picking up the chicken dinner at the end of it for all your hard work. And on that point, it's making me hungry, Larson, so I'm going to talk less about chicken dinners, because we still got 2 more games to go. We're 8 minutes in already, and the rotations have started. Look how even teams just rotating close to each other. BML look to get out of the cars, potentially.
He doesn't go for the flush, and BML does have backup close by. He could potentially be rested, and Santa's like, yeah, they drove away. I got a smoke. I'll come get you, buddy. You have nothing to worry about, Tweez. I know we gave you the buggy, but it'll be all right. It's fine. It's okay.
Enzo's just going to continue to cruise. Oh, God.
He smashed straight into the buggy.
I thought he was just going to cruise in, right? And then he just does that. It's like, nope, okay, guess we're not doing that anymore. Keep multiple cars, guys. Sharing is caring.
I believe they didn't use the smoke here. I would imagine they have smoke grenades. And, you know, when you're racing at the middle of an open field, you should definitely commit a smoke to not potentially losing even one more person.
Too much risk for my liking, but it did work out from this time around. And little things like that when that happens, I always say this. And the shift, we go down south, we still got a bit of water in there, but Ultra will be happy with it as they're just making their way across the bridge.
Circle,
What?
If only.
The 20% maybe of military base.
It can potentially go down towards the lighthouse again.
Yep, given what phase we're on, it definitely could. It's a scary prospect. But what I was saying is, given teams who get away with like these reses in the open and stuff like that, I feel like sometimes that creates bad habits because they got away with it once. They do it next time. And they're like, oh, we don't need to waste the smoke. They try to hold them to the utility, and then a team does actually pick them off from afar.
Yep. DM here, this was their compound where White Balls ran them over. They got their only 16th spot, their worst position yet in the tournament. They're back. They're like, okay, we know what we messed up on. But that's the thing, right? You make a mistake, then you're like, okay, we know how to do it better this time around. So they're happy to be back. They're not traumatized or anything.
It would take a lot to traumatize DM. DM's the one traumatizing all the other teams with their crazy plays and fragging out. Jonathan needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's alone. That's never a good sign.
And he's alone by quite some distance there.
Yeah.
DM are scoping everything. They are fully aware.
But I mean, these guys are in the compound. Jonathan, like we mentioned, he's alone, so he probably won't do anything crazy. If he tries to cross over with just one smoke, I'd be a little bit worried for him. If I was him, I would just go down into the chopsticks, run away, and say, all right, they can have this compound.
They spotted him. He's pinned. He's going to get in his buggy, and this is not going to look good. This is a team that do hit these kind of shots, Jonathan. And
okay,
I admit that's good. You got behind the house.
All right, saving the buggy I can get down with. That was a good play.
We'll take that.
Also,
my man with the VSS.
Yep.
Yeah, boy. Hey, Hope finds himself knocked down. They won't get the finish off to him. He's able to crawl away to safety. Thanos is coming in to revive him, but Sorka and Rogi, they need to be careful as well. Because Ultra are not a team that holds back. As Matic, actually quite surprisingly, misses a fair amount of the shots. Yes, it's some long distance there, but Usually they're the spray downs he hits as Matic spots up, and he's well aware that OMGG is still up on top of the hill somewhere.
Medic, how dare you miss shots with a 4x spray against a vehicle driving top speeds? Wow, you really lost it. You need to go back to the practice room.
But that just proves it. If we have to say that right about the fact that like he unsurprisingly he surprisingly missed shots.
I'm kidding.
That just shows how good we think he is, right? In terms of what he's able to do. When you look at the stats at the moment, Matic is currently again for this second week of the semi-finals, 21 kills. Closest to him is also on 21 kills. Hellfire on his team, and then everyone else is just slowly behind him.
Wait, is Storm finished? I guess they must be, right?
Yeah,
Because we haven't seen them today. Yeah, that's my bad. I thought they had one more day to play.
Nope, they're Group A, down and out of it.
Yeah.
But comfortably qualified with 280 points. So we will be seeing that team at the regionals. And they're probably watching this at the moment and thinking, all right, here's our big competition when it comes to it.
Yep. I mean, I think everybody's looking at DM right now.
Now Ultra. Got that first knock onto M19. They're not going to be able to get anything just yet. It's a bit of a standoff between these teams. B13 keeping it all chilled for the moment. We're waiting to see where this next circle goes, and we're getting Quarry again. All the way over towards the east, and that is a shift and a half. Ultra will have to now rotate with M19. So this is a battle that could go down. The Romanians down in Primorsk, though, they're going to be loving life.
The Romanians, they landed in Novo, and it seems like they've taken a boat, drove all the way around, and it's now just beached in Novo. And no, not in Novo, in Primorsk, and they got gifted the zone. That's good on them, if that's what happened.
Matic, though, finds himself knocked down by Jonathan from Welcome to the Lobby, and he's going to get flushed instantly. So, once again, Welcome to the Lobby saying, this is our territory. We beat you here once, and we'll do it again somehow.
I assume it was in rotation, because Welcome to the Lobby, they were already in the new zone. They were just to the east of Quarry, and we can see them here, right next to the compound. Wolferin driving around, probably going for a central compound, or maybe even driving up on top of Quarry.
More shots coming out here as Baltazar is going to be found by Andy, the key man, the MVP of the previous game.
So many teams just sending it right now. And we do see multiple teams getting caught off. As you see Guard now, he gets taken down by Rosq. And OMGG told him, hey, welcome to the lobby. They're at the compound. You need to go a little bit more to the south. He went a little bit too far and he runs into a completely new team. And if you're slow rotating, we can see a minute ago there's barely anything moving around the quarry side, and now everywhere you look there's a team.
Rogue Squad, they'll be looking to push in and as soon as they can. The problem is you've got Welcome to the Lobby on the hillside. You've got multiple other teams around you, and that's why Cum's dropping down that smoke. He knows he needs the additional cover now. DM, despite losing Matic early on, they've got themselves back into another good position. And this is the one thing, right? No matter where the circles pop, I swear, like DM just already pinpointed, we're going here.
Yeah.
This is where we play from. Because they've got these spots they will always try and achieve. A lot of high ground they look for, or a compound that gives them a lot of versatility in terms of movement. And they don't like the smaller compounds we often see.
Yep. Kuma, they just made a big rotation into the new zone. Typically, we see them playing hard on the edge, but they might have taken a little bit of a different approach now. Swinging around towards the hard shift side, making sure there's less people behind them once they approach further into the game. And when they're in this compound here, they should be able to scout the compound that's just southeast of them, below DM here. And if they want to go deeper into the circle, they absolutely can. And it's very, very easy to see from their current location.
Sticks for OMGG. We said how vital these last two games are for OMGG. They lost the player early on. They can't afford to do any more than that, so they will maybe go a bit more passive now as B13's under pressure from magic nades are going out. It's just constant barrage of nades towards them.
Unfortunately, though, none of them are connecting. And now we see Master. He's moving in alone here. But he managed to win out with the help of his teammate shooting from the back of the warehouse. Now it's just Kingsman. He's getting sprayed from on top of Quarry. I believe that's Ultra that are taking shots into the smoke, connecting quite a few shots. And now Saeed, he's swatting over. He should be able to see him and take them out.
Kingsman, he's too focused on Master. He'll go down as well. Saeed does end up getting knocked though, so the return fire comes in, and it's Ultra playing the long distance with the DMRs. Able to getting the job done. And this is where they take these high grounds. Teams like this and DM able to do so much damage just from afar because they've got these positions where they can see over most of the map in front of them.
Oh, yeah. And they don't have to worry about anything as they're currently on the edge, so they'll be able to clean up anything that's going to be just south of them. But, I mean, we know there's nothing in Rondon and OBS. They're just to the west. But they're sitting comfortably here. And I'm surprised at DM. I thought they were on top of the hill across from them, but not taking shots onto this.
Was it Ultra that won out the last Quarry game?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I think they came top 2 at least. I
remember the last Quarry game, Welcome to the Lobby, won with like 17, 18 kills.
Ah.
Right? That's how I recall it.
You might be right. You might be right. I just remember I was seeing that crazy game where Ultra's position there was very similar to one of the teams. But the last Quarry game got very interesting. More teams fragged out than we ever expected. And that was due to the fact that DM went down so early on.
Yep, that is very true. And we see here...
Oh, Maloko's been knocked by Andy. Andy's having a field day today.
Yeah. You should ask him what he ate for breakfast. That's usually what defines you, right?
Yes.
If you had good breakfast, you're going to play great PUBG Mobile.
If you had your Litovix, that's what it's all about.
I only drink coffee. That's probably why. As soon as that starts wearing off, I'm in problems.
Less coffee, more Weetabix, you'll be fine. As ASE, they've got a good spot again. They are in the circle, but this leaves them open to a lot of other teams that are starting to get closer to this position. They can see what's going on in front of them, though. And Ultra finding themselves pinned down between multiple teams, which is why that smoke's going to be so key in keeping them up and running for now.
But also scary, right? When you're that 3 close to each other in the smoke, one grenade could just end it all right then and there. And it's Andy, who's right next to the grenade king of the previous game here.
Truly was the grenade king as well as Kuma. They got teams in front of them. It's BML. We're split up a little bit, but we're looking to regroup. Kuma's not taking shots at them, though. As always, Kuma will just keep it relaxed for the moment. They're waiting for more teams to go out of it before they start to change things up a bit. As the nade gets returned. Andy's actually going to catch a nade himself this time. He's going to have to work his way down the hill. Now, there's a lot of space here, but his teammates now need to come to him. Mello had also been knocked. He's on incredibly low health, and Harb's now going to have to pop out of this smoke to try and save Andy, but it's not going to happen. It's actually going to be stolen away from Rest.
You see a more fitting ending for Andy than getting taken down by a nade?
Yeah, had to be done.
That's kind of sadistic to some extent, but hey. Andy, he did it last game. He can take a break now. He can be happy with what they accomplished. Because I
so many nades. The nade meta in PUBG at the moment is absolutely crazy.
But that's the thing, right? They're really heavy. You can't carry that many of them. And if you use them too early, it can cost you.
Yeah. And
we saw how many nades were just committed. If you don't use them correctly, they didn't do much. They just pushed them off a little bit.
Kuma. Shifts all in their favor up towards the north. They knew where BML was close to them, but other than that, there's a lot of open space. There's a big field space out here, which is going to make this fight and this rotation very interesting. DM can still sit on top of that hill as well and watch everyone rotate around them. This next shift, this next rotation for all of these teams is going to be so hard, especially with so many committing to Quarry early on within this.
But I mean, nobody saw the double hard shift to the north coming in. Besides Kuma that went there super early on and they're just happy. And they're gonna be big smiles in their faces. As they're facing elimination, they're currently in 17th position. These last 2 games can literally make or break how far they can go here. What we do see though is Romania, they're running into Ultra, they're getting knocked. Ace also connecting shots here. Another team, 16th position. If Ace can manage to get a good position into this game, that would be amazing for them. But they're at the south here. They need to make their way into the new zone. They're not going to have an easy time. Ultra connecting onto TQ. DM connecting onto Ultra. Right now it's just a back and forth, back and forth. Ultra also connecting onto Romania. Taking down Hopper and Chris. So Romania should be down to just 1 player right now in Rambo. We can see him here. He's just further up north, a little bit ahead of his team. And there's no way that these guys is going to be revived.
So much open field. So many teams firing from high up on the hills, on top of Quarry. Limited room to work with. TQ want to jump up now. They got ASE in front of them. TQ, you don't want to take all this damage, lads. You need to move. Keep an eye on the blue. You do not want to be sitting in a phase 5 damaging circle as Warfarin. Running around, jumping in the house, looking to do the damage. And it's revenge against Welcome to the Lobby is what they're looking after. And it's what they're going to be able to get as well. As Poser goes down, Eclipse is on the floor, and the revives are coming in.
They do lose Medic though, but managing to stay 3 alive is good on them. They're just barely in the zone.
They lost Medic earlier. He went down a little bit earlier.
Oh yeah, right, that was in the rotation, you're right.
So they did that with 3 alive and took down Welcome to the Lobby.
That is very true.
They did lose another player though, I just saw one of them. Did he get knocked or finished off?
It's Welcome to the Lobby, they're just catching up. There's so many people dying right now that the kill feed is just cluttered up, and we don't really know what's going on in live action as we see TQ, their connection shot onto Ace. Ace, a team that is facing elimination if they don't get a few more points in the next few games. Ultra Sata here still has the backup of his team, so we have to see if JC can push them back. Doesn't look like it, and JC gets taken down.
9 teams remain. We have quickly ripped apart half the lobby here off this massively hard rotation from the south. Everyone was gambling more towards Quarry, and it's gone all the way up north where Kuma currently sit. Their passive play could be working out.
Went north again.
Oh my god, this is... These shifts, these circles, sometimes it's the way it goes.
Kuma, no.
Kuma's about to be breached by 3 BML
Tapsy's alone at the bottom four.
Tapsy's not going to be able to hold on to this. He's getting picked apart. Ramon now has got to make a big decision. His teammate's not been flushed yet, but to try and hold on to this is going to be so difficult. And instantly Tapsy goes down. Ramon is just stuck in a house on his own. He takes a few shots, but it's just nothing he can do.
And Ramon is alone. Kuma has somehow allowed BML to just run them over, pick them apart one by one, without even responding. BML has all 4 alive. So Kuma had this compound for the longest time. They've now lost 3 members without even being able to return 1 kill. And if you want to qualify Kuma, you need to be able to take these fights. You can't just hide out. And if they don't do good in this game, I would say they don't deserve it. They've literally been gifted this with 4 people in a compound, and now they just thrown it away.
But what happened to Schlumpy and Larky? Like, how on earth have they gone into a situation where there's only Ramon left? We just saw Tapsy go down. What happened to the other 2 before? I'd love to know, because you were 4 players in a compound and you had teams pushing towards you, but you should have been able to just at least keep yourself safe for a bit longer.
Epic is joining the party though.
Oh no. Enzo's going to be found and he's going to have a rough time here. Ramon's just hearing this all go down and he's wanting to stick it out and say, all right, please just leave me alone.
No, he's in a Molotov.
Uh-oh, fire on his feet. He'll go down. They're out in 8th.
So they needed more than that.
A lot more than that. Once again, no kills with it as well. I think maybe 1, potentially.
A team that also needs points, though, is Epic, as they managed to make their way into this compound. They clear a building, and BML, they're like, all right, it's a 3v3. We probably don't need to commit. We're in the zone here. But what is happening now is because these 2 teams are fighting so much, DM, they managed to get into vehicle. They're in the zone now. We see Ultra, they have run into the zone. OBS has been eliminated. We have 1 player from Team 5 and 2 from Team 15. I'm trying to recall who those are, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so we have M19 in the classic solo snake. Ahead of him is Rosq. But these guys are so focused on each other in the compound that these teams that should literally have no right to be alive, they're just crawling in the middle of the open of the field with no cover. They're actually chilling right now. 11 kills on Ultra. They've had a rough game to go through.
They've been fighting from start to finish, have Ultra. At least for now it's working out. You've made top 6 with a lot of kills, but still Rest is there, and Hate Hope's going to give him a bit of help. He has hope that he'll stay alive, but not for long, as Nuke is very fast on the trigger, manages to get that one done. That's an extra kill coming in. And DM, no matter what happens, no matter where they go, they'll be finding action. They hear what's going on, they react instantly, even if it's just 1 player.
Circle finally leaves the compound. All of these guys have to go out now. As DM and Ultra, they're sitting pretty. We might see the Rest player in Leyron do some big damages to one of these teams when they have to fight. But look at that. DM, they have a nice bridge to work with. And pushing into DM here will be extremely hard if you're Epic or anyone else.
Leyron taking extra damage.
Ooh.
Rest under pressure. That was them gone. Nukers has found himself knocked down, though. It may be a chance for him to be eliminated. If there's any grenades for Tron or his teammates to use, that would be key right now.
But they're not capitalizing on this. Epic should be like, hey, we got a knock. We got to go now. But they're just letting them rest for free, not punishing here. They know they have to leave the compound. That would have been the perfect opportunity to get out. As I say that, Tron, he gets knocked down by Santos.
And this is where it's so hard. These 2 teams in the compounds next to each other are going to have a rough time, because when they both leave around a similar time, they're going to instantly be fighting off against each other. But Twice found himself 2 Ultra kills. Now he needs his teammates to back him up. This is where BML need to move forward, and that's exactly what they're starting to do. But is it going to be within enough time? As Wenzy jumps into a car and finds himself getting sprayed down. He's just about hanging on there, but the car blows up. Wenzy goes down, and Leader is the next one to fall. 2 teams remain. It's going to be DM once again going up against Bemyloot. 2 players here, though, on DM. I believe this is it 2 or 3 for BML? Might just be 2 now.
No, 3 from BML, 2 for DM. There's a 2v3.
There it is, yes.
And BML, they're currently in 22nd. Could you imagine if they win this game right now? They might even contest for the top 16 now, making it even closer, even though they had no right to even be anywhere near it prior to this game.
Now Santos trying to use his position within the house to his advantage while his teammates work around the side. Nukers has got the supply crate to provide a bit of cover for him. He doesn't want to run into that Molotov, though. The utility is going to be huge, and Warfarin starts off with a headshot onto Santos. Now this puts it into a 2v2, but the nades come out. Nukers is on the floor, and Warfarin, he's taking a bit of damage from the fire. He's burning away. Twice is now having to be isolated here. Warfarin knows he needs to win this 1v1 before he goes into the next one, but it's not going to happen. BML take a win, and they do it in a very strong fashion with a ton of kills around it as well. This gives them the opportunity now to jump up in a big way. They were currently in 22nd place with 122 points. Even by my maths, that's given them 41 points in it as well. We're probably going to see them go up to just inside or just outside.
They're going to be
16.
so close. Like 20th now, pretty much to 15, 14 are so close. And everything comes down to this last game. And like, we played 3 games today, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten 2nd place twice and a 3rd place.
DM?
DM. They
As
don't
usual?
leave the top 3. And they do it every game, time and time again. They're insane.
DM. They are the most consistent. They are proving why they're up there. And that's an extra 30 points to help them get towards that 400-point total that they're probably aiming for. Though, we got EpicGang in there as well, gaining themselves another 22 to ensure they do stay within this top 16 and qualify for the regionals. M19 back in it again. Not so many kills we always see from them. They tried to prone it out all the way as they could.
Yeah.
And TQ, we said about them as well. Team Q currently in 18th. When they started the day, they're in 16th. They went outside of it, so an extra 10 points there will actually help them jump back up.
I don't even want to do the math right now. It's not that I don't want to do it, I just can't. It's way too close now.
It is.
And like, the problem is, it's not 12 and down, so it's very few spots. Maybe like 6 or 7 teams are fighting for right now. And it's like 10 to 20 points difference between the teams. We really can't tell what's going to happen here and who's going to stay and who's going to go home.
And even more reason why we can't tell is because when we don't see all the kills the other teams have had, some of the teams that could have had 5 kills have just gone out with no placement points, and that would actually help them have a little jump up ahead of someone else.
Yeah.
There is so much still to be had here, guys. In one more game, and it is not even defined who is going to be our top 16 teams. If you want to see where the current standings are and what is going on across the rest of the Club Open, you head over to clubopen.pubgmobile.com, and you can also hit that subscribe button on our good old YouTube channel. That's the red button when you head over there. And the reason you don't want to not subscribe is because you want to see all the content from all the areas. There you go. Look, it's all below there, and it looks all pretty nice and done. We've got one more game, guys. We're about to find out who our top 16 for the Regional Europe Finals is going to be. You won't want to miss this. Stick with us, and we'll see you soon.
Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding the skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
PUBG Mobile for free.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding the skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
For our final time here at the semi-final stages, we have one more game to go. And after this, we will know everyone who will make it through to the regional finals. And that is where the big challenge starts for all of these teams. 16 teams will enter the same lobby over and over again. And that is where it comes down to how are we playing this, how are we changing things up, how do we do our research on where these teams will go and what we've seen from the semi-finals and group stages from these teams before.
Mm-hmm. Just like you said, I don't know who's going to make it. It's so close right now.
Too close, may it be, as we've had 3 different winners this time.
Yeah.
But one thing that has stayed consistent is DM19, Deformia Meditari. They have at least been in top 3 every single game. These guys are on another level. And we are on our final map, final match, Erangel.
Yeah.
So around
and
this
I'm just looking at day 1 here. Look who's number 1 2 times in a row.
Yep.
These guys are on another level. What is going on with them?
Funny enough, the only day they didn't do anything was the day they didn't play. That's the only way it works with DM19. And it's not a joke at this point. It's just become this real craziness that starts to unfold as Bemyloot.
Yeah.
16th they jump up into. So
they went from 22nd to 16th just because they had that big win.
This is a must-have win or do very well in game for the next one, though, because they've got teams just below them as ASE are on the same points as them at 163. Kuma is on 160. TQ is on 154. OMGG is on 145. There are so many teams, just one good performance is going to help them jump up. But it's looking for me now as how many points has DM19 got? Where are they currently sat? What's their life going to be looking like?
A team that's going to be shivering right now is FeelThePain.
Yes.
1 point in OBS is over them. What is that, like 15 points? And Bemyloot is equal with them, and 19 and they're higher. Well, like 16 and they're higher. They're not safe at all.
No.
And if 3 teams that are below them right now do somewhat decent, they can actually be thrown out here. That is the worst way to feel when you're sitting here watching.
Well, we talk about 360 no-scopes. I'm talking about 390 points here for DM19. What a play from them. Even on that previous game where it all looked bleak, they were still able to stand strong with just 2 members left alive. They're 10 points away from hitting that golden 400 mark. Avangar, 316, still holding on to that 2nd place, but unique as well. Just below them, it's Ultra team that we now look to because they didn't have a good game previously to see how they can do. It's Ultra and M19 who are the ones that could leapfrog a little bit further up here. But what's nice to see is like Team Unique, that's an esports team. Avangar, that's an esports team. M19, they're all ones that are within this top 8, already represented by orgs. So other teams in there may be on the lookout to get picked up anytime soon.
If DM19 doesn't have an org before the regional finals, I'd be very surprised.
In all fairness, I had tried to look for DM19 and see if it is a team. I can't see if it's an actual team or not. So it also depends on obviously where they're from and how much information I can get. It could have got on them. But if they're not picked up, I'd be pretty upset because it seems like a really good choice, funny enough, with a literal unstoppable dominance. I'm going to go back through and look at the last few days that they've played and just see what's the worst place they're at other than that 16th. Because the 16th...
There is none.
Well, yeah,
there is none. They're always in the top 5 after that with a ton of kills. That's why they're miles ahead of the competition. Having 100 more points than number 3, like number 2 even, is insane. It's insanity.
It really is insanity, but it's also very impressive from those guys as we're going to get into our final game of Erangel. We're going over military base all the way up to North Georgia Bowl. It's a little bit slightly Western playing when it comes to it. Ultra have no problem taking military base this time around, but teams that want to get themselves over up anywhere as nigh as possible. Stalwart probably not. Kameski, it depends where you want to drop out. If you're going to go for cars, you're going to try and fight anywhere for it. It is all going to come down to what choices some of these teams make, but it also comes down to where this next circle pops. And we have had some of the toughest circles today, Larson.
And yesterday, and I love it. I love it.
It has been amusing to watch. It has been just incredible to see how some of these teams have dealt with the harshness that has been delivered to them at times.
Oh yeah, and we see Kuma, B13, they're doing the usual stuff, going around to Multa and the farm area now. TQ, they've always been in Primor, so they're very happy with this plane. Ultra, like we mentioned, they're in the airfield, but it looks like teams have landed in vicinity. I don't think they're being contested. They might try and get vehicles. But who is that who's with Ultra in the milli base? I mean, we see Rosq, but they're probably going to go over towards Novo. We have a very identical circle to the last game, which is west, west, west. I want to see what's going on in the airfield right now. if they're fighting or if they're disengaging. Oh, Romania. They change it up every game. I mean, obviously they're not going to make it through. They're dead last spot now after 15 games. But they're taking it to Ultra as Moloko already down to a sliver of health. He does have the help from his team. And we do see Turo get the initial knock onto Asata.
This is not looking good for Ultra at all. It's not what we normally see from a team like this either. As Hopper is working his way up, Moloko is going to be keeping a keen ear out to understand where he might be being pushed from. But he just needs to get their teammates together to try and work it out. Moloko jumps out. He's just taking the damage. He's taking the fall. And there we go. Moloko will still find himself knocked because Hopper's waiting down on the ground. And he'll instantly get finished. Romanians, they may be in last place. They may have no hope of getting out of it. But they want to at least show that they are still capable of doing some damage. And going up against Ultra is no easy feat with 2 players of theirs eliminated already.
Yeah. And the thing with Romania, right? I'm so mind-bugged by what they've been doing throughout this entire tournament. They've had a good looting spot. The plane has gone to the same looting spot. And they're like, no, we'll just go hot drop some other team instead of going to a clear looting spot. And they do this time and again. Last game they had Novo. It was 3, and there's like they could have went to Novo as well. But it's like, no, we'll just hot drop. We like to fight early. It's not the best strategy, but right now they're taking the fight to Ultra. And you have to keep in mind, Ultra, they've landed at the airfield every single game. They've fought other teams away. They should experience in fighting here, but they got caught completely off guard by how aggressive Romania is. And now they find themselves 2 members short, and they're almost even running away to maybe find more loot, or maybe disengage entirely.
Now, one thing I want to ask here for the Romanians is, does anyone got any meds they want to give Hopper?
No.
Like, he's literally on a sliver of health, and I'd assume because they haven't been able to loot up massively that they didn't get any meds because he's just sat there waiting around to be one-tapped.
This guy's a first aid kit, so they could share.
This is what, communicate, guys! You just flushed out Ultra. This is basics.
We do see Ultra, though. I'm surprised that they disengage, right? These guys, they're top 5 right now. They've 100% qualified. They could take the fight to Romania to revenge their fallen teammates. But you gotta give them the competitive spirit. Even though they are through, they still want to see just how many points they can grab. And, I mean, alright, the points might not matter that much now.
Yeah.
But even just practicing, having a rough game like this, you're down to 2 members, it's really good experience to grab up. Whereas you might have seen some other teams, like, yeah, we'll just fight, we're through, we made it doesn't matter, right? These guys, they want all the practice, they want to become better players and see just how well they can salvage this game, even with a very rough beginning.
And that's it, right? You have the pride to do well. And Jonathan, he might not do well at all here as Andy, who just seems to have come alive. You seem to mention him more today than I've ever mentioned him in any of our games.
He's pushing alone, though.
He's all alone as well, yep. Stuck behind the wall. Will get caught out. Jonathan finishes him off, even though Jonathan had a lot of damage put his way. Andy's going to back into it. Kum's going to come in, spraying him down, trying to help it out. Jonathan's really playing this well, playing a little bit of peekaboo, able to do so much from that position, but Kum will get the win.
So, Andy, after you have that big explosion in Game 2, you have a little bit too much confidence. All right, we get it. You're a good player, but it doesn't matter how good you are. Play with your team. Make sure nobody gets knocked when they shouldn't have to get knocked on flush. Luckily, though, Jonathan didn't go for the finish, and he survives here. But I just hate to see how a good player turns into a greedy and bad player just because he maybe gets a little bit too happy.
I do respect it, though, right? I will take it in terms of what they are trying to do. Andy showing himself a little bit better.
No. Play as a team.
He just got knocked as well. One tap comes in. Headshot gets blown off. Andy's second time on the floor. And welcome to the lobby. They will allow them to have a little bit more space, but Glumgod is going to go and try and use the hill to his advantage. Why is Mello so far away?
He's on top of a 3-story trying to get overview, but he can't even see over the apartment, so good question, right? Right now he's so far away that he can't help his team, and we see welcome to the lobby here. They're actually pushing the matter here. Getting Andy a 3rd time, and Mello still nowhere to be found. He finally jumps down from the 3-story, taking a bit of damage, saying, all right, Andy, you're getting knocked again. I should probably come help now. But they are in the safety of the building as well.
I like this from White Pulse. From Welcome to the Lobby, even White Pulse.
Yeah, I know. They have the same color on top of it.
Yeah. This is what starts to happen when we've had so many games. This is game 24 of our semi-finals, but yeah, welcome to the lobby. I like what they're trying to do here, but Eclipse and Poser do not seem anywhere near as committed as Glumgod, which means if he gets knocked, again, the distance is here. It's just not going to work out. little mistakes that are being made.
OMGG. They're currently in 20th position. I mean, anything can happen if you win a game, but for a lot of these teams, they really need to have a huge performance, and then maybe hope some of the teams that are ahead of them doesn't do as well as them. They actually just hope they die in 16. They would prefer if they just went out and drowned themselves right now. That's obviously not gonna happen. Could you? Nah. Then you would think it would be like gliding. It's like, okay, here, take this money and go kill yourself.
You don't want that to happen. You don't want to see that happen. But Kuma,
I want to see that happen. Slumpy.
they're fighting for it. They know how close they are to making it to the top 16. They know they're going to have a big performance again. And Eclipse is still going to be putting this onto Rosq. He wants to make sure he's putting pressure on him regardless here. So I guess welcome to the lobby, and Rosq will fight this out for the longest time. They are within the circle, so it's not a big end of the world.
Yeah.
Jesus. How many shots? That's 2 headshots now from him long distance, getting it done. Rosq, you're giving him a little bit of a chance here, and Eclipse will try and make it work every single time.
But the thing you can see here is Rosq, they're playing together. When they get knocked, they get picked up. If Welcome to the Lobby were to have any particular member knocked here, they're just so far away that they might even die.
Yeah.
So even though we see Rosq getting knocked over and over and over again, just one knock from Rosq, and they actually come out ahead of it just because of the way they've played.
Now Eclipse is waiting for the next poke to come in. He wants all the information he can have to try and fight back against them. Melo was still very split up from him as Kuma. Schlumpy, as always, the point man, the guy further forward, the super scout as it be.
Yeah, they managed to catch one of the last remaining members of Ultra on a rotation. He might just be looting him right now. And that's Ultra down to just one guy after Romania hot dropping them in military.
Yeah. Surprised to see, but they've made it anyway, so it's not the end of the world for them, just an earlier bedtime.
They're in the blue zone, right? We saw the blue coming in, and I think it's further west. So surprising to see that Kuma is staying that far behind into the zone. Okay, they're just on the edge, but even then.
Next circle pops, though. And there's going to be a rotation needed for Kuma, B13 rest. And the last remaining Ultra member. Epic's just got themselves in. Magic are a little bit split on the 2-2 at the moment, so they need to be careful and try and group up. Otherwise, they could find themselves getting split apart and then picked apart.
Mm-hmm. And now we need to see some of these teams make a decision. I mean, welcome to the lobby. We see them. They still have meds. They're doing great. But Rosq, they've been under so much pressure that they're probably almost completely out of medicine here. So they need to make the decision. Do we commit to this fight or do we disengage? Try to get some new helmets, get some more meds. So what are they going to do here? We can see that welcome to the lobby. They have control over the zone. And unless Rosq falls really far back, it's going to be hard for them to get in.
Yeah, it's a waiting game for Welcome to the Lobby, and one that could actually work out pretty well. But it is a 4v3. So at least for Rosq, they've got the numbers to try and make it work, and that's what it's going to have to be all about for them.
Yep.
PML.
Yeah.
We speak about them over and over again, right? They are right on the edge. Same points as ASE, so everything matters to these
And they're
guys.
right next to each other. I don't know if you saw that. They were within like 200 meters of each other.
Imagine eliminating them. They have a battle. Whoever wins that is guaranteed almost.
Yeah, if only we was fighting for one spot.
They're all going one by one, taking a fair amount of damage. The meds can't be that strong now for Rosq. There's been so many shots towards them, multiple knocks as we've seen.
Blue is moving as well.
And they're going to have to come into this. They're either going to take a bit of damage from the blue or
They have
find their
to.
way around, because they can't go out into the open anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. They can't cross the road. Oh, ah. Ooh.
Oh, wow, I respect that Eclipse. That's a bit of like Matrix-style Hollywood jumping.
Yeah, but now Eclipse, if he doesn't get back up from his team and he pushes further forward, he's going to be even more isolated. So he should make the call and say, hey guys, they're moving down towards the bridge. We should try and cut them off, make sure they don't get into the zone here, but do it as a team. We don't want to see any more solo hero performances.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, but we also want to advertise that people should probably play together because it's more...
Teamwork.
All right, it's the best way to play the game, you know.
Teamwork, communication, then focus on the aim, and then the skill bits afterwards. It all comes together as one neat little package.
Yeah.
Put a little wrap around it,
Rosq
tie
is
it up.
going
Nice
into
present.
the water swimming away, and they don't even have meds to heal up. if this circle goes anywhere far away from here, they're gonna be in so much trouble. And if Welcome to the Lobby spots them here, they can also just frag them while they're swimming. Kingsman probably shooting on a rotation. That could be Kuma, one of the other teams that were further to the east. But he's just laying down, spraying into the distance. Not finding any knocks. Maybe doing some vehicle damage. Using this much ammo though doesn't really seem worth it to me. Especially because I know how good utility is, smoke, snakes, etc. You want to carry a lot of those, so you can't really carry that much ammo.
Yeah.
And spraying like 100, 200 bullets this early on might just... I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, because there's all about like keeping teams away from you or trying to get a pick long distance, but also if you get into these longer fights, you survive until the end stages. You may be struggling if you've not fragged out as much to loot some bodies.
Yep.
Now Everest is still included in it, as is Ruins and a portion of the hospital area. More open fields though in this part of the map.
Yeah.
DM won't have to move. Ultra, final player, Nikki Tanga is in. Epic still right on the edge of it every single time. Kuma, very central for them to be fair.
This circle can be so tough if it ends anywhere near the fields. Basically means if you doesn't have a compound, you can survive with 1 or 2 circles with making a vehicle compound / forward where you just mesh 3 vehicles together, put down some smokes, but as soon as you have to move, those vehicles will be blown up by the competition, and then you will die.
And you definitely won't want to be in them as M19. Got their compounds, got their position, and they will just fire off onto the distance on any teams that may be nearby. The Romanians have got themselves out of it and got themselves together here.
Yep.
A little bit split, though, in terms of at least it's a 3-1 rather than a 2-2 that I love to see. Tudor finds himself knocked down, but a res will be not a problem at all. Oh, Chris is landing a nice one, though, and I love seeing a few of these shots come in.
Yep.
That is extremely hard shot to do. Yes, it's a clear open field to shoot across, but that's at some serious distance.
To me, you know, I used to play this game a lot, and I'm like, all right, we're 2 guys shooting at people inside the center of the zone. I don't want to lose my meds. I don't want to lose my armor. Those things are pretty nice to have. So having this battle back and forth right now is really pointless, because nobody here will ever push each other. And getting the knocks is cool and all that, but if you just get a knock on yourself or you lose your helmet, it's just really not worth it, in my opinion.
Rosq squad as well. We saw them go in the water. They've taken the long route around. Welcome to the lobby of going in themselves as well. They're going from the other direction, so they don't have to be scared of that anytime soon. But they need to ensure that they are moving soon, because when this next circle pops, the damage is going to be far too high, and we saw it. They were struggling on meds anyway.
Yep. Not a good spot to be in. Committing a little bit too long to the fight is definitely going to come back hunting you. Luckily for them, they've solidified themselves. They're not in danger of elimination. So they can, you know, just have fun with this game if that was to choose to do. We do see that Welcome to the Lobby have found themselves right next to OMG, and God hits a headshot onto Eclipse.
How many knocks will Welcome to the Lobby get put onto them now? They've been doing it to Rosq squad over and over again, but now the tables have turned, and OMGG are the ones trying to deliver it. A long-distance nade doesn't quite connect, but it was close enough, and God is looking for more. He's understanding that he might be able to keep them at bay and control Everest for a little bit here.
I'm loving it, right? Earlier on in this competition, in this tournament, we didn't see that many bolt action snipers coming out, but today they've been everywhere.
And it's such a powerful weapon to have. You land that headshot, you're not just ripping apart their helmets, you're also taking them down very quickly here as we get a shift again.
Look
right
at those
on top
fields.
of Kuma,
There's
but
so
it
many
is
fields.
all in the open. These fields will become so hard to fight in, and if you're a team now having to rotate in, you're quickly saying, okay, which compound do we check first? Because if we make the wrong decision, there's a team already in it, it could be game over. But also, if we make a wrong decision and there's a compound where we can't actually get to it, then rotating to find another compound is probably going to be even harder.
But like you mentioned, Kuma, they need every point they can get. Currently in 18th position. They're very close to being in the top 16. But if they fail a breach now, if they get breached, they get run over, they're out. They failed to do it the last game. They could easily have gotten top 3 if they could stay alive in the compound. I have to see. Can they scare off the enemies? Can they stay in? And we're into circle 4 and they're dead center.
B13 got sandwiched between DM and Ultra, and seemingly have been picked apart all bar one member here.
Yeah, Romania tried to push M19. And they're just getting torn to shreds. We only see Chris alive. Rogi did just get knocked by Chris, and he also got flushed. Oh, he didn't get flushed. He's still alive.
Sorka straight out that window to try and make sure he can give him some cover, but at least for the team of
No,
M19...
Stumpy just knocked his teammate with a nade.
No.
Kuma, no! Are they getting breached? They're getting breached and they're falling apart. Initial team kills. Welcome to lobby here. They're down to 3, but can Kuma hold on to life here?
It's all about that communication when it comes to you throwing a nade too
Taps
far.
is getting naded once, getting naded twice. Doesn't connect though.
He's hiding behind that rock. He's got enough cover to play from. Eclipse is pushing up onto him. Taps, he needs to deliver it, but it's not going to happen. He gets headshot and he's going to get flushed out. This is exactly what Kuma didn't want. They had the circle, they had the spot, but now pressure is being applied to them. They've lost one man straight away. Bullet is at least going to get himself back up, but it's not fully in there. His teammates going to have to work some magic if they want to keep this going. And welcome to the lobby is starting to show their stuff and say, all right, guys, we are here.
What is Starchy doing? Help your team. Play as a unit. Bullet don't run into you, but... Oh, I mean... I feel like if you're welcome to lobby, you just, hey, it's Kuma. This is free. We can just run over them. And look at this. Kuma, no teamwork whatsoever right now. Even team kill coming in. And Lachi, he's like not even trying to get into the fight. He's like, yeah, if you guys die, I'm just going to try and snake. As we see Bullets getting taken down. No response from any of the teammates. And then we just see Lachi and Slumpy. They're snaking. They're like, oh, we have some bushes here. Hopefully we're going to be fine. OMGG though, they're raining downhill upon MG and other teams. They've been doing work. They were on top of Everest. We saw the circle shift hard away. I don't know where they moved to now, but they're doing work. And somehow Krish managed to take down Hate Hope as well. And that leaves Thanos and Solkat to leave this compound here and try to make it into the fields. I believe they're maybe going to go for a vehicle compound. Not too sure yet. But Chris actually did a lot of damage when he was in a 4v1. And he's still alive. He's making it into the zone here. We see OMG. He's running into them though. OMGG and Magic at the compound. Chris stopped in the field. Uses his buggy for cover for now.
I have so many questions for Kuma. If you were going to do that, you should have disengaged as a 3, not allowed Bullet to go down on his own after you lost the first player. It's just one of those things where we just get really confused by it, and hopefully they've not messed up their chances of getting into the top 16. They're currently sat in 18th. The circle goes down again, this time towards the southwest, and it does still include lots of teams within it. We're at phase 5, and this is where it is going to be difficult. Vehicles are getting blown up. Smokes are already being deployed. Players prone on the floor, snaking their way through, because this is how the fields work. It can be a true slaughter fest, a true killing field as it be, if these teams aren't careful.
Oh yeah, this is very scary. Luckily though, for all the teams that are on the southern side, the chopsticks are the new zone, so it's not going to be a ending full of snakes in the field. I mean, it might be an ending for the snakes, but at least a lot of them will have the chopsticks to work off. There's a few more compounds in DM. They played this spot so many times now, and it finally pays off. The circle goes to their side, and if they can take control over that western chopstick. When I say chopstick, it's more like a tunnel, a drainage system, whatever that may be. But if you look at them from above in a helicopter view on the map, it just looks like 2 chopsticks right next to each other, hence why they have that name.
You're going back talking about chopsticks to make me hungry again, Larson. I don't need to be hungry at this point. I need to see what's going to happen on these kills. As ASE, the other team battling it out to an attempt to stay in, finding themselves under pressure from OBS. Champion goes down. OMGG having a battle back now. They were up on the fields, killing everyone from a high. But now they seem to have some pressure thrown back towards them.
20 minutes into the game, still 15 teams alive. Just showing how much how hard these teams are trying to stay alive to get all the points that they need to stay in the tournament and not be disqualified. 21 minutes, 15 teams. We're down to just 38 people, and we see Romania. They go out in 15th. One less team to worry about. But I mean, nobody's worried about them. They're dead last. They can't throw away anything or anyone. Epic here, finding knocks onto Solke. Alton Loverson as well.
This is really good rest. Now under pressure, needing to change things around. Boyz is there. He would have heard that go down. Is he going to step up and try and fight off against this Bag Excise? Found himself 1 kill instantly, and another team will go down.
OMG.
Kuma has been slowly picked apart. Only 1 player left alive now for them.
OMGG, they died early. That means they're out. They do not have a chance of qualifying.
Epic currently in 11th. They're not really too scared now.
Bemyloot under a lot of pressure here. Knocks coming in on them. OBS also getting knocked by Ace. That's actually huge for Ace. If they can eliminate OBS here, they might be able to go over them in the positions. But OBS is also answering onto BML. And a lot of these teams that are in 16, 14, 15, 17, 18, they're clashing with each other right now.
Oh.
And if you can eliminate each other, that would be huge.
Literally no one but Rosq squad are in this next circle. It's gone hard shifting once again towards the west-hand side. And that means we have every other team fighting for space, fighting for a way in, and there is only 30 seconds before that blue starts moving. You've got to make quick decisions.
Yeah. You need to fight for these chopsticks where DM is in. Try to make sure they can take control over all of them. But it's just like this is a field and a tunnel and a ditch. There's nowhere to play from. So you have to make the decision here. It's circle 6. Do we try to heal in the blue? Do we try to fight? What do we do? How do we stay alive in this? We do see, I believe, Team Ace. ASAE, they just made it into the chopsticks opposite of DM, so they'll probably be able to secure themselves top 5 off of this alone if they can defend them. M19, they're gonna try to make their vehicle compound and snake their way in. We'll see if they can survive. And here's us, leaning over a desk for some reason, which is fine.
We're so focused on what's going down. There's a view of how me and Larson see all the action come into it. ASE still in. Still trying to hold strong. They managed to get some revives off, but welcome to the lobby are close by. And this is where so many decisions need to be made for these teams, Larson, in terms of do they now decide whether they want to prone up and just chill out, or if they need to go aggressive and get these additional kills because of just how many teams are left.
Epic going for the throne here. Nothing they can do. Lachi finds him, but now his position is known. If they go out here, they're out.
That's it. Kuma done.
They're not going to make it.
Welcome to the lobby now, getting the meds up. We get the looting on go as quickly as possible and start moving. You are just out in the open no matter where you go here.
TQ just went out. That's them. They also won't make it to the finals, I believe. I'm saying all this is not confirmed, but that is just to the best of my knowledge. PML, though, they've turned it around after winning the last game, still sticking to the top 8. They have Enzo alive right now, and if he can stay alive for a few more positions, that's pretty much them guaranteed as well. One team that's going to be happy is FeelThePain. They haven't played today, but if all of these teams that are fighting for the spots at the bottom are dying us out right now, they might just make it.
Nades going out, but ASC is still in. They were 1 point away from making it ahead of BML. DM starting to get involved as well. It's been quiet so far from this game, but now they're going to get into the fight. They're down in the south at the moment. And they've got a really good spot to fight from. They're going on to TQ, who are heavily under pressure here, and it's just a spray down all coming out towards them. Lunatic, QRZ even trying to just hang on. There's so many knocked players here. Gochi's just hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Bullets came out towards him, but they're just trying to keep going.
How does DM do this game and again and again? They just manage to always stay alive. 4 people still standing strong on them. 7 teams left, and they must have had a lot of kills since they've been in this area for so long, denying entry.
Placing the smokes out for giving themselves some additional cover here. Harley's position is going to be interesting when it comes down to the actual fight.
Yeah, I think he's there to get information to see if he can spot snakes. He won't be able to have a big impact there, but he will allow these other teams to play aggressive and limiting if they can get backstabbed by snakes in the field.
This is huge as well for DM because they put that car in place. They keep redeploying smokes. They're not overusing smokes just yet, and it's keeping them covered from ASE, who are just on the other side of what you were calling chopsticks.
Rosq squad from the western side, they're taking shots now, but they're completely in the open, and they need to be careful or they're going to get punished by DM here.
That's what DM does best. So straight away, Carly spots a couple out, goes to shoot onto Wenzy, trying to see exactly where this guy might be going. ASE now actually joining into the fight with DM, and this is going to be very interesting because Carly cannot try and get involved in this just yet. He's focused on the Epic player, so this is a chance for ASE to get vital points they need here.
Yep. And Epic is not even looking towards the shack right now. So if Kali peeks, he might be able to come out ahead here, even though he has such a small window to look out of.
He's keeping himself fully boosted.
Oh no, he's getting shot in the back by Rosq.
Mello!
The VSS!
You love to see it. Mello getting the job done. Spots him out. He was waiting around too long, and that's not even on the smoke to go.
But that's still not what he wanted. That's a nade now.
They want to bring his teammate up. They want to get the revive off. He's slowly going to work his way up, but he has to be so careful. He knows that smoke hasn't given enough cover just yet, and he's going to try and get the run in. ASE, though, they have managed to pick up their fallen team member. Only champion who died earlier is down. Well, now we have to see more shots coming out to DM.
Yeah, once he got spotted out by the TQ member, I thought they were out. They're currently 19th.
BML. They get the shot on to welcome to the lobby, and that's huge placement points for them, but ASE instantly reply.
This is huge for these guys. Now we're down to a stalemate. I called this out. Everybody's going to be praying in the field, and the people who are in this tunnel here, in the top 6, in the drain system, whatever you prefer to call it, they can't even play anymore. Because like you see, you can just take cover behind these small, what do you even call those?
Pillars.
Pillars?
I guess pillars.
Sideway pillars? They're taking cover, and you can't peek anything. You can use the smokes though, so well played. They still have some left, but everything is just a big stalemate right now.
Warfarin getting some revenge for his teammate, but will find himself knocked down. Rosq are not giving up yet. They're looking for another high placement game. ASC, they've got themselves into this spot, and they're literally side by side, only covered by the smokes. And Rosq are just moving forward slowly. Carly's going to have to go out soon as well, but his teammate's gone down. He's also going to go down. Will they get the flushes onto him? Carly gets finished off, and it's ASC who do pick up the kill. TQ next down. Gochi was trying to hang on, but the blue zone will eat him alive. Leader, slowly but surely, trying to stay within it. Warfarin's going to find himself finished off. This isn't looking good for DM. ASC taking a bit of control now.
This is so huge. But this ASC 100% must have qualified now. Epic, Rosq, and DM, they're just fighting for the honor. And again, top 4 is DM, top 4 is Rosq. Epic, they've had a heck of a day as well, doing really good. And Ace, when they need it, coming out clutch. Who can finish this off though?
Huge nade from Harv, gets the double knock-in, then they finish him off. That's 4th place now for ASC. Should be enough for them to do it, but DM, they're not giving up yet. They're playing from a pivotal position. They've still got to find the remaining members of Rose Squad. They should know they're close by.
2v2.
Andy's not going to have his miracle nades coming out anytime soon. Matic started off with the first one. They're looking for the next. Andy's going to get finished off. It's only Mello that remains. They know exactly where he is. Damage has been done, and Mello heavily under pressure, low on health. Harb's going to be eliminated, and DM take the final game in style. These guys are the true champions of Europe. Unstoppable performances, multiple, and I mean multiple first places, and so many kills. Absolute supreme talent here.
First, second, third, just today. Last time they played was this Friday, 2 days ago. 2 wins for them then. They're insane. They're unstoppable. We'll have to see, can they keep up this carnage when we get down to a regional finals with the 16 of the best teams going together. But it doesn't matter. When they're playing Lobby B, they're owning. When they're playing Lobby C, they're owning. They're just unstoppable.
ASE, 25 points. Team Queso, TQ, 17 points. Bemyloot, 15. Those 3 teams were desperate for points to keep them in the top 16. When we get these final standings, Larson, it is right to the wire for so many of these teams. Kuma, I don't think they've done enough this time. I think it could have been lights out for them.
Yeah, so I think Bemyloot and Ace, they're in, right? And I don't think that Queso, the 17 points is not enough to overtake Obstruction or FeelThePain, right? So they're probably not going to be in.
Oh, we can't do the maths. We have to wait and see how it goes down.
But that basically just means that it's going to be OMGG, Queso, BKB, Whiteboard, CZ Romania, and Kuma, who's not going to make it. That's my head math. They could be wrong. I'm not going to say this is the final scores, but that's just what I've been able to
We need a calculator.
It's not a calculator. We have people that are doing their job. They will probably show us the leaderboards, but...
Oh my God, what a way for this to end, Larson. That was such a fantastic last day. And just DM, it's just fitting, isn't it, that they got that final win there in the way they did. Just 2 players left alive. They're hiding within the chopsticks. They're waiting for the players to come towards them. They had ASC pressuring them. Great use of utility. They always kept replying the smokes, right? But didn't waste it. Wasn't throwing 2 smokes down constantly. It was like, just one's needed now. Just one more is needed now. And they were just waiting it out. They were never taking too big a risk. Even the fact they were able to get Carly back up after he got knocked down by Rose Squad was impressive alone.
It did cost them, though. They lost 2 instead of 1. But they tried. They used the utility well. They should have tried to go back down while the smokes were still up. I think they were running out of utility towards the end, so they just stayed a little bit too long in that jack. But yeah, they're nuts.
Our final standings overall.
FeelThePain just got knocked out. Oh no.
24-17. Feel the pain. I feel your pain right now because you're probably watching this waiting to see how it was going down. TQ not in it. Kuma not in it. OMG not in it. And the others we already knew didn't have a chance. Oh, this next set. Oh, this next set.
Do you know what makes me happy? Before this week started, I said, if you have 200 points, you make it through. That's the line. And it actually stayed true. And all of these guys here, oh no.
Come on. Bemyloot, Obstruction, Magic, ASE, B13, FromHell, EpicGang, and Welcome to the Lobby are your first 8 teams guaranteed to the regionals here in Europe. And my oh my, you were almost spot on the money. You need around 200 points. From 11 upwards, they had 200 points. And there's the other ones who are fighting out right to the wire. Look how close some of these points are. Bemyloot, 178.
They have the exact same.
184.
Yeah.
Magic, 186. There's just a couple of points in between each place.
How many kills did FeelThePain have? No, they're at the bottom. You don't even need to update, sorry. But I mean, Bemyloot and FeelThePain, they have the exact same amount of points. And then I believe whoever has the highest kill points will go through. So I'm just curious how many kill points that they have. It doesn't show?
51 and 51.
51.
They're
Then how's
exactly
that decided?
Tied. It'll be down to whoever got the most wins.
Yeah, perhaps.
Oh.
178 points for both the 16 places. Look at that! They're exactly the same.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to consult the rulebook, but I believe it's if they've had the wins.
But how mental is that? The exact same amount of kills and the exact same amount of points. I'm sure there's a long rulebook, but we're not smart enough to make that decision or anything. Like, we just here to show.
You got to say.
That's ridiculous.
There's one of those things where it comes down to if you didn't flush a player on a certain game, you weren't smart enough to do it fast enough or something like that. Oh, so feel the pain. We said you're out of it. There's potential that you're not fully just yet. DM19 though, 429 points. I think they gained like 80 points today.
No, way more than that.
They were on 230, wasn't they? They started.
They were just like low. They were, yeah. Wait, I thought you said. I thought you said 80 points. They got well over 100.
That's fine.
They've gotten well over 100 points today for sure.
Well, they've got 138 kill points in there either way. Yeah. Way above anyone else. Not even close to them. Closest in Rosq squad today, who did come out with a big bang. Avangar still hung on to that second place by 1 point. Ultra Team in 4th. Unique 5th. M19 6th. DMStorm 7th. And Rest 8th. And Rest, honestly, this week alone, they did really step it up to a whole nother level. Yeah. They brought a different caliber of play and a smarter play as well. Solke, I think, on an individual basis as well, delivered on a very good performances because he was the man who was always starting these engagements off, so he had the confidence to go into it. And there you go, looking at Avangar compared to Rosq squad, just 5 kills separating them. But in total, the points is only 1 point different.
So going forward now, right, if people are wondering, this is the semifinals. When are the regional finals going to be? We don't know the dates yet, but we do know they will happen next month.
Yeah.
So you want to go over to the website, clubopen.pubgmobile.com, and all the news you will want will happen there. And for me personally, what I take from this, I want to see DM99 go to the regional finals, win that, and then I want to see how they perform on a global finals that will happen in July.
They certainly looked like the most impressive team by a long, long way. Very good performances, so many wins, a big round of applause to them to getting first place because that proved everything we were just saying in terms of how you rotate, how the teamwork is, how they were reviving players at the same time. Very smart stuff from these guys. That is us done. Thank you everyone who's been a part of this incredible journey. It is only just beginning. This is now taking us to the regional finals for Europe, and there'll be regional finals for every other region. You can find all the information at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. My name is James Banks. His name is Matthias Larsson. We have had an absolutely epic time of getting this done. Larsson, we're done. We're dusted. We're finished off for now. Hope all of you have a fantastic time. Keep on playing PUBG Mobile. Keep on supporting your favorite players and teams. And hopefully we will see you guys at the regionals.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.